keep meaning to shorten it up. Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to part 8 of my series where I give my thoughts on every episode of classic Star Trek. I know it doesn't say in the when it was called classic Star, it does in the description. I'm not doing the new Trek, you know, the Kurtzman Trek and all that stuff. Classic Star Trek from the original series up to Enterprise. Anyway, we're up to Star Trek The Next Generation Season 4. And a jolly good season. And Wingrace is here saying, hooray. And before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, we're live on YouTube. Let me check. Yes, we are. We should be live on Rumble. Fingers crossed. Come on, you're going to come on. Rumble's rubbish. Yes, we're live on Rumble. And we're live on Twitch. Right. Explore the description for various links for merch. What else? My Patreon, my websites, my books. They're underneath a pile of stuff. I can't get to them. All that stuff. And what else? I don't know. I can't remember. But go have a look. My other places where I upload stuff, like Spotify. There's a Spotify link in there as well. Right. What else? Become a member. Then you can join in the live chat. And also get early access videos and exclusive videos and exclusive emojis. I think they are for members. And then what else? Super chats and super thanks. Throw them my way as well. Right, let's get on with Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 4. We're going through this. I'm watching it on Netflix because in the UK, classic Star Trek is still available on Netflix for the foreseeable future, which is cool. So if you remember, at the end of Season 3, it ended with the big cliffhanger, probably the biggest cliffhanger of Star Trek ever, the first one that they ever did. Captain Picard has been kidnapped by the Borg. He's been transformed into Locutus. I know it's got a meaning, Locutus, but I can't remember what it is. Wingrace will tell me. But I always remember thinking, why have they called him that? When I was watching it at the time, I thought, why have they called him Locutus? Is it because there's like Jean-Luc Cutus? I always used to think that. But I know it does have a meaning, but I can't remember what it is. There is a reason why they called him Locutus. And the only way to stop him is to fire to modify the deflector dish to fire a massive beam of energy at the Borg cube, thus destroying it. And it ended with Riker giving the command to fire, and we're like, what's going to happen now? I don't know, but anyway, we'll get on with it, shall we? I shall add it to the screen. There it is. Right, so there's the recap. I'm not going to go through the episode, you know, in great detail because we've got 26 of the buggers to get through. We'll be here all night. But anyway, hang on, where are we? Anyway, it says fire, and it does bugger all. Telling us there, look, that... hang on, I've got subtitles on. I thought I had subtitles on. Oh, it's there on. It's just not showing them. It does bugger all, because Picard knew about the plan, thus the Borg know about the plan, thus they've been able to adapt beforehand. So there we go. So it does nothing. And thankfully... by the way, because they've burned out the deflector dish now, so they're basically stuck there now with the Enterprise. And thankfully, the Borg just don't destroy them and assimilate them instantly. You'd have thought they would, wouldn't you? But they don't. They just bugger off. They head for Sector 001, where they're going to assimilate Earth. Anyway. So there we go. And they're thinking that Picard is lost, as a casualty of war. Thus, Riker is promoted to captain. A field commission to captain, and Commander Shelby, Lieutenant Commander Shelby, she gets a promotion as well to full commander. We see her with 3 full pips later on. Can I do this with this? Oh, I can. Right, we'll do it this way. So anyway, here we are. The Starfleet intercepts the Borg cube at Wolf 359, which is a real star. I think it's about 5 light years away, maybe a bit further. I can't remember. Hang on, let me check. It's a nearby star to the Sol system. So let me check. Wolf 359. Oh, it's 7.86 light years away from Earth. I think it's a dwarf star, a red dwarf star. So that's where they're meeting them. And the battle is not going well. Anyway, well, there's Guinan giving Riker advice on becoming, basically taking over from Picard, because they're assuming he's a Borg now, and they're not going to get him back. There's Wesley. We're in at the end of last season, wasn't it, where he was promoted to given a field promotion to ensign, wasn't it? To a full ensign, not an acting ensign. I was just thinking, well, not this season, but no, it was last season, wasn't it? Anyway, so they've got to head out, and they've got a plan. What they're going to do, they're going to separate the saucer section, and Worf and Data are going to go in, cause damage on the cube inside, and get Picard back. That's what they're going to do. They're going in the shuttle. There they are, using the transporters. Look, they've got Picard. Look, there they are. They've got Picard. They've managed to get him back. And Picard, who's still fully Borgified, is saying, you will be assimilated, but I won't hurt you. I will speak for the Borg, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they arrive at Wolf 359. Have we got past that bit yet? Hang on. No, I think it was earlier on, wasn't it? Never mind. Was it earlier on? Was it quite... How? No, it must have been... Where is it? They arrive at the battle site of Wolf 359, and where the hell is it? Oh, here we go. Oh, no, that's their attack. When did they get to? Is it near the beginning? I can't bloody remember. No, because he's there. There's Admiral Hansen. I can't remember what ship the Admiral Hansen were on. Were he on the Melbourne? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. They get to Wolf 359, and all the ships, I think 39 ships, have been destroyed. And we learn later on this season that over 11,000 people were killed in that battle. But not everybody died. Some did get away in escape pods. For instance, the future captain of the Titan, and also Captain Benjamin Sisko and his son, they escape the battle in an escape pod. So not everybody were killed, but a lot were. Anyway, so they get Picard back on the Enterprise, and there's nothing they can do to destroy the cube. It's heading for Earth. They get through they've broken through the Mars defences, which were like three poxy little ships that the Borg just went pew 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 and destroyed them instantly. So anyway, Picard says, "Data, sleep." Because Data connects himself to the Borg through Picard, and so he tells all the Borg to go to sleep. So Shelby and Worf and that beam over and said, yes, the Borg are asleep, but because they're all asleep at once, it starts some sort of feedback, and the cube starts blowing up, which it does. Where is it? There it. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, it was. And it all blows up, and thus they have saved the day, and Picard goes back to normal, thankfully. Still got all his stuff. They get all his Borg bits off him, and there he is. But he's not going to be well immediately, but he's obviously well enough to return to service. You'd have thought Starfleet had been, they thought they'd locked him up for a while, wouldn't you? Taking him to Starfleet Area 51 and just made sure he were okay. But no, it's Picard. He's back in charge. And me. So there we go. So that's, a cool episode. One of the best. Hang on, let me pause this. One of the best episodes is Best of Both Worlds. What can I say about it? Everybody's seen it. It is a stonking episode, 2 parts. It's a stonking movie. If you watch part 1 and part 2 together, which most people do, it's a really good TNG movie, and it is available on Blu-ray, or it used to be. I have got it on Blu-ray. As one movie. They released it on Blu-ray as a movie. So there we go. So that's that one. Next up, one of the few times that Next Generation did a sequel well, not a sequel, but like an instant follow-up to a previous episode. Usually they're pretty self-contained episodes, aren't they? Sometimes they refer to things that happened before, but this is a direct continuation of the previous episode. It's almost a part 3 of Best of Both Worlds. By the way, I looked up why it was called Best of Both Worlds, and there doesn't seem to be a definitive answer, although it is suggested that it's talking about Picard being the best, of Starfleet, and having his humanity stripped away from him by the Borg. I don't know, but he's got one foot in both worlds now, the humanity and the Borg, whatever. Anyway, the next episode is called Family, which is not exactly action-packed, but it is a good follow-up to Best of Both Worlds. It's a slow burn episode. The Enterprise is at Space Station McKinley, or is it Earth Station McKinley, I think they call it, being refitted after the events of Best of Both Worlds, and the crew's taking this opportunity to visit Earth and visit family and stuff like that. So anyway, Picard is going to head down to. Oh, now we can see that he hasn't got his bits stuck on his head anymore. Although I do think he has. Where is it? Where the hell is he? He does have some like marks on his head. If it does a close up, it's not going to show it, is it? Never mind. Oh, they can see. Oh, Pete's sake, bloody Netflix. There you go. You can see on the side of his head there. He's still got some like scars of his experience. Anyway, he's going to head home to his family vineyard. So, and to see his brother Robert and his wife, whatever the hell she's called, Marie or whatever, I don't know, and his nephew. What's his face? Renee. What else? Worf's parents are coming to see him on the Enterprise, and that's the B story. The A story is Picard visiting his family. We learn he doesn't get on with his brother. His nephew looks up to him, obviously, because he's the famous Captain Picard. But he doesn't get on with his brother. There's his sister-in-law. I can't remember her name. Is it Marie? It can't be Marie, can it? Just a minute, let me check. But she's played by Samantha Egger, a British actress. Just a minute. Oh, it is Marie. Yes, all right, it is Marie. Played by Samantha Egger. Oh, I must have seen her in lots of things, because she's a famous actress. But I remember from The Brood, David Cronenberg's The Brood. But she must have been in loads of other stuff as well. But anyway. And there's Renee, played by a different kid to the kid that would play Renee in Star Trek Generations. But never mind. Anyway, goes back there. Doesn't get on with his brother. Also learned that Beverly's got some stuff that she had in storage that belonged to her dead husband, Jack Crusher. Including a little holodeck thing that were a gift for, well, it wasn't a gift, but it's for Wesley, a recording from his dad, and that it was to be given to him when he grew up. So she's going to give him that. Anyway, Picard actually thinks about staying on Earth and leaving Starfleet and going joining the Atlantis project, where they're supposedly going to bring up loads of landmass from the middle of the Atlantic or something. I don't know, with this fella. And he even thinks about it, but obviously he's not going to. Anyway, he ends up having a fight with his brother. But before that, Worf's human parents, did I say his human parents? His human parents, Sergei and what's-her-face, Rozhenko, come about. And kind of, they're not embarrassing, but they're a bit over-exuberant with him. But it's quite amusing. Anyway, he ends up having a fight with his brother. He's had a fight with his brother, and they're all covered in mud. And they have a rapprochement. They get on after this. So there we go. She tells them off for getting mud in the house. But anyway, so there we go. Wesley watches the hologram of his dead dad. I don't know exactly how old was Wesley when his dad died. I don't know. I know he was little, but how little, I'm not sure. But anyway, we see him with his mighty maroon uniform. I hate him. The race, in the movies. But why didn't TNG don't they put the little collar, the white collar thing? Well, it's like an undershirt, isn't it? It's like a polo neck undershirt they wear underneath. Why don't they have them on? Or at least put a collar on. They look horrible without a collar. But anyway, never mind. And it's basically him saying, "Oh, Wesley, I love you, and you're going to see all this amazing stuff, and I'm going to grow old." And Wesley's like, "Well, no, you're not. You're going to be dead." But never mind. So there we go. So yeah, whatever. And then he goes back home. Back to the Enterprise. Does Picard, says goodbye to Renee and his family. They're all made friends, and Worf's parents leave, and it's all lovely, and they're going to head out for a new adventure. It's a nice episode. It's an episode to catch your breath after the excitement of Best of Both Worlds. But anyway, so there we go. That's all I can say about family, really. I don't know. Do people rewatch it a lot? I don't know. Do they skip it after Best of Both Worlds? Skip family and go straight on to the next one, which is called Brothers, which is a decent episode. Actually, I think all the episodes of Season 4 pretty much are decent episodes. I don't think there's one episode I particularly dislike. There's some I'm not a huge fan of, but I don't think there's any that I would generally skip. I might do, but anyway, let's get on with it. So Brothers, right? They're on a mission. A kid on the Enterprise. Remember, the Enterprise has got families on it. Has been injured by his brother. His brother pretended his little brother had killed him with a phaser or something, and his brother ran off and somewhere. I don't actually. I can't remember where they were. They were in the holodeck, but he ran off and ate a poisonous plant, and now he's ill. And they're rushing to a. Hang on. They're rushing to another star base or whatever where they can be treated. Because Beverly's a rubbish doctor and she can't do it on the Enterprise. McCoy would have cured him like that. And so would, what's-her-face, Pulaski, she'd have cured him like that. But Beverly's a crap doctor, isn't she? Anyway, I mean, she only lasted a year at Starfleet Medical and they got rid of her, didn't they? Get her back on the Enterprise. Anyway, while on their way, Data wigs out. It kind of goes mental and starts doing that a lot. He's getting a communication from, we learn from Noonien Sung, his creator. So he essentially takes over the Enterprise and sends it to where Noonien Sung's living. They thought he'd been killed by the crystalline entity, but it turns out he hadn't. He'd got an escape plan. But obviously it puts this kid in danger because they need to get to the starbase quickly, but Data's locked everybody out of the computer. Anyway, so there we go. Data, they're out at this planet. Data beams down. This is one where Brent Spiner plays 3 roles in this. He plays Data, obviously, and Noonien Sung. Why did they call him Noonien Sung? I don't know. Is it like Khan, Noonien Singh? I don't know. I don't know why they picked Noonien Sung. I don't know. But anyway. Which is odd, obviously, because Noonien Sung, Khan was an augment, a genetically engineered person, but one of the earlier Sungs, Auric Sung, he did genetic engineering, didn't he? But never mind. Right, so they got to get control of the Enterprise back, but they can't because Data's done a super duper code and they can't break it. But then Law turns up. There he is. Law turns up because he's had the same, recall homing signal. So he turns up. Turns out in season 1, they blew him out of the shuttle bay or whatever, and Packled's picked him up and reactivated him and all that stuff. So don't think he's just been mooching about for a year and a bit. Anyway, Law being a baddie. Oh, right, turns out that Noonien Sung has got an emotion chip, the famous emotion chip for Data, so he can experience emotions. But obviously, Law, being a bad guy, pretends he's Data, takes Data's uniform. Sung puts the emotion chip in Law, and disaster ensues, and he hurts Sung and buggers off, and they beam down, find a way to beam down to this planet, and that's Data. Law put Data in his clothes, and he's sodded off. And we don't see him again for a couple of seasons, but never mind. But Sung's there, dying now, and so they just basically leave him there. I don't know, to decompose. Does Data bury him? I have no idea. Maybe he phases him in lieu of cremation. Maybe he disintegrates him. I don't know, but maybe just leaves him there. Anyway, so they get back to the Enterprise, and he makes it so they get control, and they get the kid to the starbase, and he's fine, and there we go. So that's the end of Brothers. Because it's about the brothers, the human brothers that are on the Enterprise. One of them's ill, and obviously it's about Data and Law as well. It's all right. It's a fine episode. Showing off Brent Spiner's acting chops, which he does quite a bit in this season, to be honest. Data is my favourite character of TNG, maybe in all of Star Trek, I don't know, but I do like Data. And Brent Spiner, I like Brent Spiner as well. So there we go, so that's Brothers. Next up, Suddenly Human. This is one I do tend to skip, I must admit. Not that it's a bad episode, I just don't find it really interesting, to be honest, but it is a decent episode, but it's one I generally skip. It's where we encounter is it Talarians? Is that right? Let me check. What bloody say there? I think it's Talarians. Yes, Talarians. Yes. They encounter a disabled Talarian ship. And Talarians are like this aggressive race. They're no match for the Federation, but I think the Federation keeps a wide berth of them. And they found this ship that's something's up with it. So they beam over. I think there'd been like a distress call or something like that. Oh, look, they've got some, what do they call them now? Didn't they had something like this, didn't they? Named them in Enterprise. It's like trip lights or something like that. I can't remember. Windgrace will know if he's listening. Them lights there that do that, that do nothing. Anyway, never mind. Where were we? They find these injured Talarians, but one of them's human. Is it going to show him? Whatever. But one of them's human. It turns out, is like there you go. We would have seen him. Oh, for Pete's sake! Bloody Netflix is terrible for. There he is. Right. It'll not be him. Go on. No, it goes on to Captain Picard. Whatever. One of them's human. It turns out it's been raised by Talarians. They raided a Federation outpost, killed everybody except for this kid. And the captain of the Talarian ship took him and raised him as his own, but as is Talarian custom. So he's more Talarian than human. So basically, they've got to find out, about his human family. His parents were killed, but he does have family on Earth or on somewhere else in the Federation. So they're trying to get through to him, but he's all Talarian now. And anyway, Talarians are heading there. They arrived at other Talarians, and his Talarian father arrives as well. And they nearly go to war, but. We think he's going to decide to stay with the humans because he starts acting a bit more human. But then he stabs Picard. There you go. Luckily, it doesn't kill him, obviously, but it shows that he's Talarian now, so they send him back. They send him back to live with his Talarian family, and that's about it, really. That's about it. I don't even know. I don't think there's a B story in this film. Usually TNG episodes have an A story and a B story. I don't think there is one in this. I could be wrong, but I can't remember what it is. It's just all about this kid. I don't even know his name. No, there's nothing else going on, is there? They usually have something else going on, but it's just, yeah, it's just about him. Maybe that's why I don't find this particularly interesting. But there you go. It's all right. It's all right. But it's one I generally skip. Now, I don't generally skip this next one that you can see there. Remember Me, a Beverly episode. She gets a couple of episodes this season, does Beverly. Even though she's a rubbish doctor. But they've gone to a star base. Look, it's not thingamabob. It's not space, Doc. They're around another planet. We saw one in season 2, didn't we? What is season 2? Can't remember. Anyway, Beverly's greeting a mentor of hers, Dr. Galen Quace. I like the name Galen. I think it's Galen, isn't it? There's Professor Galen later, isn't there, in season 6, I think, in The Chase. Or is it Dalen Quace? I can't remember. It's Dalen, not Galen. Dalen Quace. How about close? Anyway, he's an old duffer, but he's a friend of Beverly's, and he's come aboard to. And then we see Chief O'Brien. Anyway, so taking him to his quarters, and there we go, and all that jazz. Meanwhile, in engineering, go back. Oh, for Pete's sake, bloody Netflix is crap. There's Wesley's doing an experiment on the warp engines. While they're in space, Doc. You wouldn't think that'd be the best time to experiment on warp fields and stuff while you're in space, Doc. But it's an experiment, whatever. It's Wesley, they're fine, and he's testing out some of Kaczynski's warp equations. Remember Kaczynski were from the, 3rd episode, I can't remember which episode it was, of season 1, where no man has gone before. We had this Starfleet warp field specialist who were trying to improve the engines of the Enterprise, and they ended up getting sent millions of light years and also to the edge of the universe. But it wasn't Kaczynski, it was the Traveller from Tau Alpha C, with his no fingers or whatever like that. It were him, the Traveller, but it turns out, some of it was Kaczynski. It wasn't all the Traveller. Some Kaczynski's equations did have some merit. So Wesley's trying them out, and obviously it goes wrong, but we don't know that yet. Just little things start happening. This is another one that I don't think has a B story. It's just all about Beverly. But anyway, this one does it better. Pardon me. Anyway, there's like a flash of light, and they notice that Beverly's, Wesley looks round because Beverly were visiting him, saying, come to dinner and all that, whatever. And then there's this flash as he does the experiment. He looks round, she's gone, and he thinks, she must have buggered off. But then, as they're leaving, Beverly notices that Dr. Quace has gone. He's disappeared from his quarters, and nobody's heard of him. And it's all a mystery, and they don't know. And they're all saying, well, why didn't you tell me? Captain's saying, why didn't you tell me you were having a guest? He said, I did tell you ages ago, and nobody remembers who he is. Anyway, the upshot of it is she's in like a static warp bubble or something caused by Wesley's experiment, and it's collapsing, so people are disappearing. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense. She's in her own mini-universe, and so as it collapses, people start disappearing from the Enterprise because they were never born, or something. I don't know, but anyway. People just keep disappearing, and then it ends up there's just her and just her and Picard on the Enterprise. He says, how can we have a ship this big? We're just two of us, because it's perfectly normal to everybody else except Beverly. And he says, well, we've never needed a crew before. There's Picard. And but she is lovely, is Gates McFadden. She's a crap doctor, but she is lovely. It's our Cheryl. But anyway. By the end, she's all by herself. on the Enterprise, trying to work out what's happening. Occasionally, this light appears, and everything starts getting drawn into it, and she stops herself from going into it, thinking it's it's deadly or whatever. But then we go back to our Enterprise, and we learn that it's because of Wesley's experiment that Beverly disappeared. Everybody else is there, fine, but it's just Beverly for them. It's just Beverly that's disappeared. And they're trying to reach her, and that's why these flashes of light keep appearing. Anyway, the Traveller turns up and is going to help them, but he says basically it's up to Wesley. He can do it. So Beverly's got to work out what to do, and then she susses out, oh, hang on, where did it first happen? In engineering. So she's got to head out to engineering, but the warp bubble's contracting really fast, so she ends up running through the Enterprise corridors as the universe is collapsing around her. Anyway, everything's fine in the end, and she gets through there. She gets through the light, and embraced by Captain Picard and all that, and it was all fine, and in the end, that's it. Oh, shush. It's a fun episode. I like Remember Me. It's a fun episode. What can I say about it? It's a good idea. Even though it doesn't make a huge amount of sense. She's stuck in this little tiny universe of her own, but people just keep disappearing because the universe is contracting. But I don't know if it'd work like that. But anyway, it is good. It is good. Is Remember Me. I do like that one. It's one of my favourites of that season, to be honest. Next up is Legacy. This one is. Now then, season 4, we do get little snippets of Tasha Yar in it. And this is what's happening with this one in Legacy. They're going to the planet where Tasha Yar grew up. The used to be a Federation colony, but they seceded from the Federation, and everything went to pot. But she escaped. And we learn she's got a sister. Oh, hang on, I pressed the wrong button. They was in playing poker, whatever. Turns out she's got a sister. They go to that planet. I can't remember what it's called. Just bear with me. What's the planet called? Turkana 4. Oh, we're close. I was going to say Tarkanan 3, but Turkana 4, that's where they're going. A ship, a Federation ship has crashed there or whatever. So they're going there to save the crew of that ship. And it turns out there's 2 factions on Turkana 4 that are fighting for power. There's no government, it's chaos and all that's anarchy and blah, blah, blah. And Tasha Yar's sister works for one of them, and she's going to help him. And she beams aboard. There she is, we see her there. We would do, if it landed on it. And she looks a lot like Sarah Connor. There we go. I'm watching. I'm just thinking it's Sarah Connor, isn't it? It looks a lot like Linda Hamilton, but no, it's Tasha Yar's sister, who is called something else. I've forgotten the bloody name. What's she called? Ishara, played by Beth Toussaint. Ishara Yar. Anyway, she comes aboard, and everybody likes her, and they think she's going to join them and go to the academy and stuff like her sister did, and all that stuff. But it turns out that's not going to happen. But she helps them to get the crew of this freighter back. But she's also kind of working against them in her own way. She's using them so her faction can get an upper hand against the others. Anyway, so there we go, and that's about it for this episode. To be honest, they save the freighter crew, but she betrays them, and she's willing to kill the other crew. She doesn't want to, she says, but anyway, so they leave her back on the planet where she wants to be. She'd formed a friendship with Data. Not the first time somebody would try and form a friendship with Data in this season, but and when she's leaving, she's saying, it wasn't all a ruse. I did mean some of the things I said about, wanting to be your friend and all that, but whatever. So, anyway, so there we go. So that's Legacy. I don't know what he's looking at there. He's looking at... I thought I muted that. What's he looking at? Is he looking at something of Tasha's? I can't remember. I don't know. It's not telling us, is it? She'd given him... she had an implant. They've all got implants of all the colonists, and so they can track them, so that even the enemy knows where they are at all times. And she has that taken out, and she gives it to Data, so he's keeping that as a keepsake. But anyway, so there we go. That's Legacy. It's all right. Another one, to be honest, I probably would skip, but it's a decent episode, and it's not the last we'll hear of Tasha Yar in this season, sort of. But anyway, moving on to episode 7. What's next? Reunion. Really good episode. This is one of the best episodes of the season. Not only because it's got Susie Plaxton in as Kayla, but it is really, really good. Anyway, right, so here we go. There she is. The rendezvous. Oh, it's terrible. What are you doing? What's it doing that for? Why didn't you just play? Oh, never mind. Right, Ambassador Kayla's coming on board because of... they're going to meet up with the Chancellor of the Klingon Empire, Kempek, because he's got a favour to ask. Anyway, Worf keeps saying, my dishonour among Klingons may offend Ambassador Kayla, and Picard says, you are an officer, you are a Starfleet officer, you can't go into hiding every time a Klingon ship decloaks. And he says, oh, well, whatever. So anyway. Right, so they rekindle their love for each other, sort of. What they do. But she's brought a kid on board, Alexander, this little kid. How fast the Klingons grow. They must grow really quickly. But in season... was it 1 or 2? When we first saw Kayla, I can't remember when it was. Worf wanted her to become his mate, his Parmakai, or whatever the hell they call him, and but she didn't want to. But they did it, and she's had a kid called Alex. She calls Alexander, so he's like 3/4 Klingon. Because Kayla's half human, so Alexander's 3/4 Klingon. Anyway, she brought him on board, so. There we go. And Worf, he says, I can't be his father. He will bear my dishonour. So anyway, right. So the Klingon cruiser is going to show it. I think it's the Bortas. I think, which is kind of like the Klingon Air Force One. It arrives anyway. It's not showing it, is it? Bloody hell. Never mind. Oh, there it is. See, when I don't think about it, it lands on them. There we go. A good old Vorcha class attack cruiser, which are not as big as you think. You think they'll be these huge things, but a lot smaller than the Enterprise D. Well, it looks it anyway. But anyway, this has got Kempek on board, and we learn he's being poisoned. He's dying, and there's two Klingons who are gonna, they're vying for the Chancellorship. And one of them's Gowron, and the other one's Duras, and they all go, oh, Duras. I thought that name would ring a bell. Because Duras was the one who forced Worf to accept discommendation. Because Worf's dad, Moog, were accused of... what's the word? Oh God, I can't think of the bloody word now. Betraying, that's what it was accused of betraying the Klingons to the Romulans at Kittimer. But it turned out it was Duras's dad. But because the Duras family's so powerful, they swept it under the carpet, and Worf were blamed instead. So he accepted discommendation, so the Empire wouldn't be flung into civil war. But now Duras is about to... is one step away from being ruler of the Klingon Empire. Anyway. Picard, Kempek asks Picard if he will be the arbiter of succession. So he's got to oversee the proceedings, the rituals, and all that stuff, including the Sonchi ceremony where the Kempek dies. Did I say? He's been poisoned by one of either Gowron or Duras. We know it's Duras, no, because we know Duras is a baddie. But they do this. Kempek dies, so they do this thing with the pain sticks, where they stab him with the pain sticks. There we go. Gab Nakil, and then Sonchi and all that stuff. It's all cool Klingon stuff. She wants to know why Worf accepted this commendation, because it's all secret. It's not common knowledge in the Empire, and the files are sealed. But she starts nosing about, and then there's an explosion. By the way, during the Sonchi ceremony, whatever it's called, there's an explosion on the ship, and a couple of Klingons are killed. One of Duras's, one of Gowron, so they've got to investigate that. Anyway, the upshot of it is it's Duras, because he's a baddie. He kills Kayla. We learned it one of Duras's men that had the explosion in his arm. He sacrificed himself and all that stuff. This bit here. That's a Worf finds Kayla dying, and she says, look after Alexander and all that, but not before he does his. Poor Alexander. It always sets me off, does that bit. It does. Gets me the emotion of it. Anyway, whatever. So he's going to get revenge on Duras. So he leaves his communicator. Somehow transports over to the Klingon ship, or to Duras's ship. Maybe he just found an empty transporter room. I don't know, but he beams over. There he is, and he's just the right of vengeance. So he and Duras have a fight. He kills Duras, and there we go. And the matter is closed. Gowron's the only one left. He's going to become the next Chancellor, and so there we go. Picard is forced to reprimand Worf, for what he did, But Worf says, I acted in, within Klingon tradition. He says, well, but you're a Starfleet officer as well. You can't just go around killing people. But a reprimand will appear on your record. He doesn't say record, as like British people would say. He says record. But anyway, there we go. So Worf's stuck with a kid now. But he hints, because he's going to send him straight away over to his human parents, who are like 1,000,000 years old. But here, look after this young Klingon kid again. But anyway, he comes back later, not this season, but I think maybe the next season, the season after. But anyway, so there you go. It says, you're going to live with my human parents. And he says, are you my father? And he says, he does a Star Wars thing. He says, yes, I am your father. He says, just like that. So there we go. Reunion. Excellent episode. One of my favourites of this season. It's really, really good. Top-notch stuff, and obviously sets the groundwork for stuff that's to come. The first time we see Gowron as well, with his eyes. So there we go. That's Reunion. Next up, episode 8. Another banger of an episode, in my opinion. Another one I really like. Future Imperfect, where they're beamed down to this planet. First up, though, Riker's playing his trombone, and we learn that there's one thing he could never learn how to play properly. He always gets it wrong. So, anyway. Because it's his birthday. It's Riker's birthday. They're having a party, and he must like to play the trombone at his birthday parties. Anyway. They pick up a signal from this planet. That's them saying, oh, look, picked up this signal. So they beam down. There they are. But then there's a gas, and they beam them up, And then something goes wrong, and there's a white flash, because there's always a white flash, isn't there? And then suddenly Riker wakes up, and it's 16 years later or something, and he's older, and look, his comm badge is different, and he doesn't have pips, but he's got 4 things. He's Captain Riker of the Enterprise, but he's lost his memory. So there you go. So he suddenly jumped 16 years into the future, and there's Beverly, probably still a rubbish doctor, to be honest, but never mind. Anyway, so he's got to come to terms that he's lost 16 years. And he said they're saying that he picked up a virus on this planet that they beamed down to, and it's laid dormant all this time, and then suddenly it activated and put him in a coma, and it's erased his memories from the time that he was infected with it, which was 16 years earlier or whatever. And he's been captain of the Enterprise for, I don't know, 9 years or something. And Picard has become an ambassador. Anyway, we see that Data is his number 1. Right, so here we go, and there's Ambassador Picard. Got more hair as he got old. I don't know, but why on American TV, if they show old people, I mean, he were bald, wasn't he, when he were younger? So how come he's got more hair as he got older? I'm not getting more hair as I get older, but anyway, whatever. Maybe he's just not cutting it as often. Maybe because he doesn't go and see Mr. Mott, does he, obviously? But anyway. Right, they're heading to Romulan space because they're finalising a treaty between the Federation and the Romulan Empire, and they want Riker to be there to mediate it between him and Ambassador Tomaluk. Who we've seen before, who's a baddie Romulan. And they want Riker because a few years earlier he'd saved loads of Romulans and he impressed them. So there we go. But obviously, I can't do it. I can't remember anything. Says, if you brief properly, you'll be fine. They've also learned that Riker's got a kid there called John Luke. There you go. And his mother was called Min. They always say, Min, and we learn that she died X years previously in a shuttle accident. Deanna works with. She's left the Enterprise. She's with Ambassador Picard. Anyway, there is Ambassador Tomaluk. But Riker suddenly gets an inkling that something's not right. There's a computer lag and all that. The crew are acting as they would. Anyway, so it goes back to the quarters, and we see that. Hang on, just a minute. He realises he's going to show it. There we go. A family image. He wants to see his wife. There we go. And he recognises Min. It's Minuet. And if you remember the episode, I can't remember it. 10110, whatever it was. The one with the binars in, where they did the holodeck thing. And Minuet were in that. She was a holodeck character that Riker kind of fell in love with. So he's thinking, hang on. I just said, hang on, I married a hologram, but he realises it's not real. It's a trick. Because they keep talking about Outpost 20 or whatever the hell it's called, some outpost that's top secret, and obviously he's not telling them. And people keep saying, we need to know, get to Outpost whatever. And anyway, obviously Geordie's got. He doesn't have his visor anymore. But anyway, he starts realising, does Riker, that things are not what they seem. So he's saying, why is this computer lag? You're not that incompetent. And he's asking, hang on, I've gone too far. Data accidentally uses a contraction. He says, I can't. He says, you can't say that. Although we have heard him use one before, but never mind. And then he realises it's all an illusion, and it turns out they're on a Romulan holodeck. There we go. He's not really in the future. He's being captured by the Romulans, but even that's not true. We learn. There we go. They show him this kid, John Luke, and he says, "I'm not called that. I'm called Ethan or something." And But he lets it slip that they escape, and then he lets it slip. He says, Ambassador Tomaluk does this, that, and the other. And he says, hang on, you don't know Ambassador Tomaluk. He was just on a holodeck programme. So we realise that it's all a trick, and he's behind it. Is this kid? Turns out he's an alien kid that were left there by his parents, who were destroyed by an enemy. And I was thinking, I wonder if it was the Borg. I don't know, because it doesn't tell us. They were destroyed by this enemy. But and his parents hid him there with all this super duper holographic stuff. And so he says, welcome. There he is. There we see him as he looks. Go back a bit. There he is. He says, my name is whatever. We don't care. He says, to me, you'll always be Jean-Luc. And so he goes with Riker back up to the Enterprise. Says, due to beam up. And they beam up. There we go. A good episode. I like Future Imperfect. A bit of a crap ending, but, it's a good episode. Riker sussing it all out. Because, the illusion wasn't perfect. But near as damn it. So there we go. What's next? Episode, what are we on? Number 9, Final Mission. It's a Wesley episode, so I'm not a big fan, because I don't like Wesley. I've got his bloody name now. Who plays him? I'm blanking. I'm being an idiot. Anyway, never mind. Who plays Wesley? I can't bloody remember. Who plays Wesley? My bloody memory. Will Wheaton, of course. Will Wheaton. Why couldn't I remember Will Wheaton? I mean, it's here. I've got him here. Look, where is it?
Will Wheaton.
It's a Wesley episode. We learn that Wesley has been finally accepted into Starfleet Academy. He's tried several other times, hasn't he, over the last couple of seasons, but something happens, and he ends up not going. But this time he's going, and so they're going to get shut of him. Finally, there you go. Seems he's all happy. Anyway, his final mission is going to go to this planet with these miners, and with Captain Picard, they're going to take a shuttlecraft to this planet with these miners, and Picard's got to do something there. I don't know, but off they go. Meanwhile, the Enterprise goes. We've got an A story and a B story. The Enterprise goes off to help this other planet somewhere. Right. They're going. The miners have sent a shuttlecraft. They're not going in a Starfleet one. The miners have sent a shuttlecraft to take them there. You'd have thought they said, "We'll take a zone. We'll follow you." But no, they're going with one of the miners, and we're going to see him here. There he is. Do you recognise him? It's Captain Alan Carter from Space 1999. Nick Tate. Wonder if his eyes blink that way. Exactly, Nick Tate, isn't it? It's Nick Tate, Australian actor who's playing one of the miners. Don't ask me his name. I'll tell you in a minute. Durgo. He's going to be their pilot. Right, so, anyway, off they go. Turns out that... hang on, let's get past the credits. Turns out that his shuttle is crap, and it ends up crashing on a moon of one of the planets. It's not very hospitable. It's Class M, but it's not very hospitable. So they've got to head to these mountains, but they've no food or water. You'd have thought before they set off, Starfleet and all that, they said, have you got enough food or water in case of an emergency? But no, obviously they didn't check with him. So they should have taken their own shuttle, shouldn't they? But never mind. They can't stay in the shuttle. Because I was saying, we've got to find shelter and shade from the sun. I thought, we'll just stay in the shuttle then. But they do say in it, they can't, because the shuttle will become an oven. So they've got to get to the mountains where there'll be, somewhere shady for them. So that's what they're doing. The Enterprise heads to this other planet where something's happening. Oh, there we go. Picard leaves a big arrow in the ground, pointing towards the mountains. So they're heading off. Off they go. Anyway, they arrive at cave set number 3 or whatever. And And there's water in there. They've picked up an energy reading. That's why they're heading in that direction. There's an energy reading. And they find a fountain or something. Hang on just a minute. Somewhere. It's not showing. Oh, aye. And Durgo had some booze and he's been drinking that. And Picard says, this won't quench your thirst, but it'll do for injuries and stuff. Or for coolant. Anyway, they find this fountain. But... that's what happened. I was trying to think why they had to go to this other planet. Turns out there's an old ship that's like drifted. It's been drifting for hundreds of years or something. An old freighter or something with loads of radiation coming out of it, and it's heading to this planet. And they've got to tractor beam it out the way. They're gonna fire it into the sun, but the radiation's that bad. They can't get anywhere near it or whatever. Hang on, see, I'm missing stuff here now. Right, they find this. See, I've gone too far now. Pardon me. Let's go back again. They find They find a fountain. Look, loads of lovely water. Look, but it's protected by a force field for some reason. I don't think it even explains it, but I try and go to it, and there's a force field in the way. It knocks Durgo on his bottom. So he tries firing through it with his phaser, and obviously that doesn't work. There we go, this force field happens. There you go. And it causes the cavern to start collapsing, and Picard gets hit, there we go, and he's not doing well. And so they've got to find a way to get past the force field, to get to the water, because they've no water, remember. Durgo, he dies, he gets... when he fired his phaser at it, this energy thing came out of the force field or whatever, and wrapped his phaser in that stuff that you can see there. And Durgo says, "Well, I've got a plan. You set your phaser up over there on automatic, and I'll fire my phaser, and we'll see if that does anything." But it kills Durgo. Does the energy thing. They deal with that freighter. They finally suss out how to get it into the sun. Wesley susses out the force field. They have a little chat, Oh, I've always been proud of you, Wesley, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he susses out how to get to the water, uses his tricorder to do stuff. And he gets to the water. And there we go. The crew, the Enterprise comes back and finds them, and they're all right. And Wesley buggers off to the academy, and we don't have to put up with him again, apart from the odd episode. But there we go. It's all right. The final mission. I usually think of that. I think I'm not a big fan of this because it's a Wesley episode, but it's not too bad. I just don't understand why that fountain's protected by a force field. Maybe it's a mystery, innit? It's a mystery. Next up, The Loss. Oh, it's a Deanna one, innit? I genuinely don't like this one. I said, I lied, didn't I? I said there's no episodes that I don't like. I don't like this one. Because Deanna's a miserable cowbag. The Enterprise encounters like two-dimensional life forms. But before that, we see that she's doing her job as ship's counsellor with this woman here. Is it going to show her? There she is. Do you recognise her? She is Picard's fantasy wife in Star Trek Generations. When he goes into the Nexus. It's her, isn't it? But she's playing an ensign on the Enterprise, whose her husband died, and she's being not coping with it. She's been not like breaking down all the time. She's kind of as though it doesn't matter to her. She's been like that. So Deanna's helping her with that. And obviously, as a betazoid, although only half betazoid, her empathic abilities allow her to get the best out of people, and she can feel when people are lying or covering things up or not reacting as they should and all that stuff. So it shows she needs her empathic abilities to do her job properly. But then suddenly, there we go. She loses her empathic abilities, and she decides that she can't do her job properly. And it turns out it's because of these two-dimensional aliens that they're intersecting with the Enterprise, and they're dragging it towards a Tyche. No, is it a Tyche? No, not a Tychon's rift. A quantum string. I've forgotten. But it's because of that she's lost her empathic abilities, and she keeps kicking off and shouting at people. I can't do my job. I'm resigning, and I can't do it. And you don't know what you're talking. People are trying to be nice to her. She's saying, you don't know what you're talking about. She's just snapping at everybody all the time. She's just being a horrible person. Anyway, the Enterprise is being pulled towards this, I don't know, quantum string. Quantum filament, I can't bloody remember, whatever. I'll say quantum string. And the cat, oh, there we go, there we see it, look. Not going to land on it. Oh, there we go. And the cat can't speak to the aliens, the two-dimensional aliens, because they think they're going to be destroyed in the quantum string, whatever it is. I think it's quantum string. Let me check the loss. A cosmic string. Is there a difference? I don't know. But it turns out, they want to go there. That's home for them, and so they suss it all out in the end, and the two-dimensional aliens head into the cosmic string. And leave the Enterprise is able to escape, and she gets her abilities back, and everything's back to normal. And whatever, crap episode. Apart from the two-dimensional aliens bit, that bit's fine, but the Deanna bit's bloody awful. She's a terrible person. She is, just snapping at everybody. She does apologise at the end, but I'd have said to her, "Well, you should know better. You're the ship's counsellor." I think they do say though that counsellors are second only to doctors being the worst patients, something like that. But anyway, that's the loss. It's crap. Although I don't, as I said, I meant it when I said I don't hate the episodes. I just don't like it very much. I would definitely skip it. Next up, Data's Day, one I definitely don't skip. Another really, really good episode. It's all from Data's point of view. This episode. Apparently, I don't think it's been mentioned before. I don't think it has anyway. That O'Brien and Keiko, whatever her maiden name is, are getting married. I didn't even know they were going out. They just flung that onto us. I don't think it's been mentioned before. Anyway, there they are. And Data is giving her away because he's a friend of O'Brien's and a friend of hers. Because they met because of him. He introduced them at some point that we off screen, I think. Anyway, there's a wedding rehearsal going on, and another one with a horrible woman who's like mental. I think Keiko's a bit. Oh, I don't know, but. She says to Data, I've decided I'm not getting married. That'll make me happy. And so Data goes, okay, whatever. I'll go and tell O'Brien. And O'Brien obviously gets angry. And there you go. Oh, the childish! And thinking, oh, God, here we go. So that's the first thing Data's got to deal with. Another thing, there we go. They're beaming over a Vulcan ambassador. They're taking her to the neutral zone on a secret mission. So it's another thing that Data's got to deal with. Anyway, it goes to the barbers. It's a funny scene, is this? Geordie's in having his hair cut. Mr. Mott, there he is. Is that the first time we see Mr. Mott? Don't know, it could be. But this alien woman, I presume it's a woman, I don't know, there it is, having her hair done. And as I look at it, her hair's keep doing her hair different colours. I have no idea what sort of alien she is. Windgrace will know. But anyway. Anyway, so there's Worf buying, replicating a wedding gift. Um, and then he's got to learn to dance. There he goes and asks Beverly, teach me to dance for the wedding. Because apparently the wedding's still going on. Apparently. She's just getting cold feet. Right, so who's this? All right, yes, all right. And O'Brien is going to speak to Data and say, can you talk to Keiko, get her to change her mind, all that stuff. But he goes to talk to Keiko. She bites his head off. Leave me alone. I'm not getting married. But then he goes to see Deanna's tits. Sorry, that's all they are. But he's asking her for advice, and he's saying, I talked to Keiko, I talked to O'Brien, but they don't talk to each other. That's what she's saying, and that's what he's saying. And she says, just leave them alone. They'll sort it out between themselves. But anyway. Right, he's going to go and get some dancing lessons. Another good scene, dancing lessons, because she's the dancing doctor. She's a dancer in real life, is Gates McFadden. She choreographed a film. But it's Xanadu. I can't remember. It might have been Xanadu. Let me check. I'll say she's a choreographer. Just bear with me. Where are we? I'm going to have to just type it in. I think it was Xanadu, but I could be wrong. Then let's have a look. Where are we? Here we go. Where is it? Oh. Says a choreographer. Choreographer Labyrinth, according to that. I could have sworn it was Xanadu. Obviously not. I could have sworn I'd seen the name on Xanadu. I'm going to check Xanadu now. I am. Xanadu movie. Jesus, oh, for God's sake. What does it say there? No. Xanadu film. I bet I'm wrong. I bet I'm wrong. We're live. I can't find it. Anyway, she's done a film. I can't bloody remember. I'm on IMDb now. Let's have a look. All cast and crew. It'll be here somewhere. I bet it's not. I bet I'm misremembering. It might have been Labyrinth that I saw. Could have been. Choreography. Right, here we go. Choreography. Where is it? Additional crew. Oh no, Jerry Trent it says. Obviously I'm getting it wrong. Probably Labyrinth then. Whatever. Anyway, but it turns out she's a tap dancer. And she's teaching him to tap dance. And he says, he picks it up. And he says, I'm now ready to dance at the wedding. He says, oh, you didn't say this before the wedding. They don't do a lot of tap dancing at weddings. He goes, why not? She goes, I don't know, but they don't. So she teaches him, some normal dancing. So anyway. Right. So, Data's observing that Riker's, always chatting up the ladies. And don't blame him with her. Right, so they're going to beam over the Vulcan ambassador to a Romulan warbird near the neutral zone, or in the neutral zone, because for reasons, orders. But there's a transporter accident and she's killed. There you go. And they don't know why. And it turns out that she's not she wasn't a Vulcan at all. She was a Romulan spy, a double agent. It turns out. Data susses all that out because he's clever. The wedding goes on. There we go. She goes to see her. She says, I'm getting married because I'm mental. Not married because she's mental. She's just keeps changing her mind. She's acting all stupid and getting on my nerves. But anyway, so here we go. They're getting married. And obviously Captain Picard's marrying them. I heard somewhere that was what's the, like an old wives' tale, a myth that sea captains can marry people on a board ship. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm going to look it up now. Can sea captains marry people? No, it says no. Most sea captains do not have the authority to perform legal marriages. However, some captains can perform weddings under certain circumstances. Right. Okie dokie. I suppose they could. What's this? When can sea captains perform weddings? Japanese ships captains can perform weddings if the couple has Japanese passports. Bermuda registered ships. So yes, if you're on a ship registered in Bermuda, you can. Some cruise lines, like Celebrity Cruises, Asmara Club Cruises, Princess Cruises, and Cunard, allow captains to perform weddings. And captains can perform weddings once the ship is in international waters. All right. But I don't think it's not. Is it legal? I don't know. You probably have to go and get a marriage certificate from wherever you live, or whatever. I suppose. But anyway, whatever. So they do get married. There we go. Miles Edward O'Brien marries Keiko. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So they're married now. For some reason. What she see in him? I don't know. But so they're dancing. Oh, while all this is going on, they're getting threatened to be blown up by the Romulan warbird. A baby's born. There we go. A baby's born on the Enterprise. So that's all cool. By the way, it's in the form of a diary. I forgot this. Data's day. It's in the form of a diary that Data's sending to Commander Bruce Maddox at the Daystrom at Starfleet or Daystrom, whatever. There we go, and that's it. That's the end. A really good episode, though. A really good episode. I like Data's Day because it's Data. Data's my favourite Star Trek character. Next up, The Wounded. Another decent episode. Not one of my favourites, but a decent episode. This is where we first meet the Cardassians. They look a little bit different. But anyway, never mind. Turns out the USS Phoenix, I think it's the Phoenix, under the command of O'Brien's old captain, had gone rogue and started attacking Cardassian outposts and ships, killing loads of Cardassians. Apparently the Federation had just signed a peace treaty with the Cardassians. Here's O'Brien and Keiko, obviously newlyweds. So again, a bit like in the episode Family, that followed on from Best of Both Worlds. This one's following on from Data's Day, isn't it? But I suppose they've got to, because O'Brien plays a hefty role in this episode. Right, so they've got to catch up with the Phoenix. Here's the Cardassians. There we go. Hang on. Oh, I'll tell you. There we go. Mark Alemo is not playing Gul Dukat. He's playing Gul Masset with his. But I don't think we see these again. I'm not sure. We do see the Cardassians again in TNG, but I think they do away with these weird helmets that they've got. But so here we go. We learn that the USS Phoenix have been attacking Cardassian ships, so they've got to catch up to him and stop the captain, who's I've forgotten his name. Ben Maxwell, Captain Benjamin Maxwell, who was O'Brien's old captain. So they've got to go and find him. He's in a Nebula class ship, as we'll see. There's the Cardassians. Give them a bit of facial fuzz, which I don't think we see again. Maybe we do. I don't know. But and the uniforms change, don't they? But anyway, we learned that O'Brien was at the Setlik 3 massacre, where Cardassians, slaughtered lots of Federation people. So O'Brien doesn't like Cardassians. But he doesn't just start punching them and stuff. He says to the Cardassian, "I don't hate you, Cardassian. I hate what you made me become, or whatever, forced me to become. Killing people and stuff." Anyway, Wingray says, "Think that was the only facial fuzz." I said, I don't think they showed it again. And they did away with the weird helmets, I think, as well. But anyway. This is the scene where he talks to the Cardassian. Right, so the catch-up here is Ben Maxwell, who looks really familiar. I've probably seen him in loads of stuff. But we learned that Chief O'Brien was Ben Maxwell's tactical officer. I thought, well, do you mean he's tactical officer? He's an enlisted man. But never mind. On the Rutledge, they were on the Rutledge, weren't they? Supposedly, the Cardassian maker was the smelliest one they had, wasn't it? Oh, that's weird, isn't it? I wonder why. Anyway, he's attacking the Cardassian ships and bases and stuff because he says they're rearming. They're going to start invading Federation space. So he thinks he's doing the right thing, but Picard says, "Well, no, you're not allowed to. You're breaking the treaty." But he goes and does his stuff anyway, and he proves that the Cardassians were being duplicitous, and but I think he does he get arrested or does he die? I can't remember what happens to him now. Oh dear! I watched this episode not very long ago, and I forgot how it bloody ends. How does it end? Let's have a look. All right, I see. I think Maxwell just gets arrested in the end, I think. Kept there sweating more than is that what it did? All right. So, foisty makeup. O'Brien brings him in. That's what he does. He brings Maxwell in, and I think he's just going to get probably end up in prison or whatever. So they go, "Maxwell was right. You were doing all this bad stuff." And he says, "Well, whatever. We're Cardassians. We're baddies," and that's the end of the episode. But Maxwell will pay for what he did, by getting booted out of Starfleet, probably. Anyway, next episode. It's a good episode, though, is that Wounded. It's all right. Next up, one of my favourites, Devil's Due, with Ardra. Famously, would have been a Phase 2 episode. Somehow Maxwell returned. Did he? I don't know. In books, comics, whatever, I don't know. But, anyway, The Devil's Due, famously an episode written for Star Trek Phase 2, the Kirk, Spock, well, it wouldn't have been Spock, would it? Kirk, Zon, McCoy and all them series that never happened. But this would have been one of those. And it'd been interesting to see how it had worked. But anyway, been updated to TNG. They go to I forgot the bloody name of the planet. Oh dear. Bear with me. I forgot the name of the planet. Ventac 3, innit? Yeah, Ventac 3. That's where they're heading. They're heading to Ventac 3, where which is like this peaceful planet, but suddenly there's been these uprisings, and there's like a scientific team that they've called for help because they think their world's going to end. But before that, we see Data's practicing his acting again, this time in A Christmas Carol. Anyway. So they head to Ventax. Is it Ventax or Ventac? I think it's Ventax 3. They arrive there, and they think that the devil's going to take over their world. There they are. Devil, like a demonic force, like a god, called Ardra. Because 1,000 years earlier, they signed a deal with this Ardra. She promised 1,000 years of peace and prosperity, but then she will come back and enslave the planet. And now it's starting to happen because there's been earthquakes and people have seen Ardra and all that stuff, so they think it's going to happen. But obviously Picard is dubious about this. But then she appears in a flash of light. There she is. She's saying, "I am Ardra, and I have come to claim this planet," whatever. And she transforms herself, into Fekla and, the Klingon demon or whatever. Pardon me. Anyway, so the Ventaxians, they're convinced that she is the real deal. She's Ardra, but obviously Picard and the Starfleet people think she's a con artist. It turns out she is a con artist. But if she is a really good one. But she is a con artist. But it doesn't explain how she does some of her stuff. Like I say, she can just beam aboard the Enterprise without setting off the intruder alerts, and she does this other thing. I don't know how she gets. I don't know how she manages it. There you go. She disappears. Oh, stop! I bloody keep muting it. It keeps unmuting. Oh, it's because I do that. Is she going to disappear? The beamer out. That's it. Beamer down to the surface. So the beamer out. Where's my mouse? Oh, it's there. But then she just instantly reappears again. He turns to this ensign, but she's sitting there. She's replaced this ensign who were there. Who we're going to see in a minute. She disappears, and then this ensign reappears. And they ask him where he was. I don't know, but off she goes. She's going to disappear now. Where was I don't know. So she's obviously got some pretty cool technology at her disposal. But obviously they think she's a con artist, and she is, obviously. She appears to Picard, tries to seduce him, but he's having none of it. Because he really loves Vash, as we learn. And apparently, I didn't know this until the other day, and I saw it on, I think we're on Facebook, like a Facebook post somebody did, that this season, actually during last season, Captain's Holiday episode, Patrick Stewart and Jennifer Hetrick, who played Vash, became an item, became a couple. So, and I'm guessing there still were a couple in this, because she's in it again, this coming up. Anyway, they decided to turn this episode into a courtroom drama, and so they start questioning Vash and the leader of Ventax. There you go. She turns herself into the devil and all that stuff. Data's acting as the judge because he's unbiased, etc. Anyway, Geordie and the Enterprise crew, here you go, they find out what she's doing. She's got a cloaked ship, and they get aboard that ship, and they find out that she's been using transporter effects and holography and all that stuff. So they turn the tables on her, and they prove that she's a flim-flam artist and all that stuff. They arrest her and take her away, and I think we should have seen her again. It'd be nice to see her again, because she does say, as they take her away, there we go. Go on, what's she going to say? She's going to say, He said, "Till we meet again," or something like that. Whatever. He says, "Until we meet again, Captain Picard," and all that. And I think we should have seen her again. It'd have been cool. She'd have been nice as a recurring villain. It's like TNG's version of Harry Mudd or Cyrano Jones, but prettier. So, 'cause I like Ardra, I'd like to see her again. Anyway, I liked her. I like Ardra more than I like Vash. But never mind. So there we go. That's Devil's Due. A really good episode. I really, really like that one. I do. I really do. Right, next up, Clues. Another one I like. Although it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when we get to the end, but never mind. The Enterprise encounters. Oh, they've got a bit of downtime. So they're all doing their own things. Worf's doing his, for Pete's sake, doing his Klingon Tai Chi. There he is. Oh, there they are. Beverly's doing her experiment with these plants. And I want to know how they get, at the end, I want to know, these aren't mentioned again. But never mind. I will mention, Beverly's doing that. And Picard's in his Dixon Hill holodeck, but he's asked somebody to come with to join him, and it's bloody Whoopi Goldberg as Guinan. Anyway, so they're in there, but they call to the bridge because they find a weird thing going on. Hang on just a minute. There we go. They get pulled through a wormhole. That they find there's an M-class planet or something in this area that they've not seen before. But then the wormhole appears and they get dragged through it, and everybody's unconscious. When Data, there we go. Data looks round. Everybody's ligged out, and then we start the episode. Anyway. Right, so the upshot of this episode is turns out they've all been asleep. Data says they were unconscious for 30 seconds, but clues start appearing that they were unconscious for longer than that. And one of the clues is Beverly's plants. Miles has got an injury somehow. They're going to show Beverly's plants. There we go. There we go. Beverly's plants have grown a lot. Remember, they were nearly empty. Well, they were empty, weren't they, at the beginning? And says there's over 24 hours of growth in these. So we've been asleep a lot. We were unconscious a lot longer than 24 hours because it's a fixed thing in the universe how fast these plants grow. And there's other things as well that mean that they start to doubt Data's reliability. Is covering something up, so they're all searching for the clues as to what happened. And they say it all began when we detected this Class M planet, and then we encountered that wormhole and stuff. So they send a probe back to that other place, and it turns out it's sending an image of a planet somewhere else in the galaxy. Data had altered the image. Worf had a broken wrist, and it had been repaired. It's obviously giving him some discomfort, and it turns out she'd repaired it. She's a bad doctor, you see, so it still hurts. She'd repaired Worf's broken wrist, and Worf says, "Commander Data is one of the few people who could, break my wrist," and all that. So. But Data's been very evasive. He says, "I can't speak anything. I can't speak to you," and all that stuff. But then they go back to the planet. They find out it's an actual planet, not what Data showed them. And then they encounter an energy field, and there you go. The green energy goes into Deanna. And they're aliens, obviously, and they're threatening to destroy the Enterprise. But they said, "No, just knock us out, take away our short-term memory." And then Picard orders Data not to speak to anybody of what's happened. So that's why he's being evasive. But they left clues, and we have a recap. Data shows what went on. But they left clues. So they said, we could do it again. The first time we're a run through. But we can't leave any clues behind. So I was thinking, well, what about Worf's wrist? Worf's wrist was still broken, and Beverly's plants. So to go back to the beginning, said you can wipe his memory again. It'll take 24 hours to wipe your memory. So that's another 24. So our plants will be 48 hours old by the time. But anyway, and it all works fine this time, and they decide to. They're just back to square one again, and they reset the chronometers. And you'd have thought, at least, Starfleet would be saying, no, your chronometers are out by 2 days, at least. Once they get into it. But I don't know, whatever. But there's still that thing with her plants. How did she do? They said, we've erased all the clues. What about her plants? There'd still be at least, even if she got rid of them, they're going to be knocked out again, unconscious again, for another 24 hours while the memories are erased again. Because the alien said that's how long it takes. So I don't know. Unless she just killed the plants. Maybe she just kill them. But then there'd still be a clue. She'd be saying, my plants are dead, what killed them? But I don't know. But anyway, they erase the clues and everything's back to normal. And obviously, none the wiser. We know what happened, and Data knows what happened, but none of the others do. And there's obviously no clues left for them to find, even though Worf's probably still wondering why his wrist aches. And Beverly's plants. I don't know. Oh, right, and also Deanna as well. Deanna keeps freaking out when she looks in the mirror. She says, "Oh, there was a stranger looking back at me." Well, that might happen again. I don't know. But still a good episode. I still like it. Moving on. First Contact. Yes, this is the one where the Enterprise E goes back to 21st century Earth and fights the Borg, innit? Obviously not. This is another nice... I like this one as well. It's a nice episode. Where the Enterprise is at a planet. Don't ask me the name of the planet, I've forgotten. Let me check. Because I can never remember stuff. Malcor 3. There we go. It's always 3, isn't it? 3 or 4. They're on Malcor 3. A planet which is about to break the warp barrier. So they're about to make first contact. But they've been snooping about first, and we see that Riker is there, disguised as a Malkorian. So we can see they've got lumpy foreheads, as Star Trek aliens have. Hang on, go back again. Pardon me. And there we go. We see that they've got fingers like the Traveller a bit, and they're curious as to why Riker, who seems to have a lumpy forehead like them, why he's got 5 fingers and 5 toes and stuff, and they think his heart's in the wrong place and all that stuff. So there's who's an alien? There we go. We see it's Riker. He got caught in a riot or something like that, some civil disturbance. So is stuck there. Anyway, so the Enterprise have got to try and find a way to get him back. Why don't they just beam him out? I don't know. You'd think they'd be able to, it's a human life sign. You'd think they'd be able to pick him up, wouldn't they? There's only one there to beam him out, but they don't. But never mind. Just beamed him out. It'd have just been a mystery, wouldn't it? But never mind. 5 fingers sounds like it'd be great. A death punch, yes, just like the bride. Oh dear. Anyway, so there's all trouble happening on the planet. They think they've got an alien in the hospital. Meanwhile, there she is. Oh God, what do they call her now? Caroline Seymour. We've seen play a Romulan a couple of times, but she's here playing a goodie this time. She's the head of the warp program. He's like the security minister. I've seen him in loads of stuff, and I can't bloody remember what I've seen him in. It's Michael Ensign, isn't it? Yes, Michael Ensign. There's been a lot. I think he's been in Star Trek quite a bit. But what else have I seen him in? Oh, aye, Ghostbusters. He was the hotel manager, wasn't he, in Ghostbusters? That's where I know him from. But he's been in loads of Star Treks and X-Files and all that stuff, yeah. Loads of TV. Yeah. Has been Stargate as well. Yeah, right, fair enough. There's been loads of TV. Anyway, so there you go. They're getting ready to do this warp flight. Anyway, as she's working away, Picard and Deanna beam down and say, "We've lost a man," and all that stuff. They take her up to the Enterprise to prove to her that it's real, and said, "We've lost a man." So she's going to help him, but they also beam up the president of the planet or whatever. It was a Vulcan in Enterprise. A Vulcan. Oh, right. He's been in Voyager and others as well. Hang on, I'll check his thing again. What else? Where are we? He's been in Voyager, according to this. Deep Space Nine, TNG, MacGyver, Enterprise. I don't mention Stargate actually. Falcon Crest, Superman. They were in Titanic. Television, right, here we go. Let's have a look. Star Trek. I'm looking for Stargate, because you said Stargate. I'm sure he has been in it, but I'm still looking. They're not showing it. I can't see it. Not on Wikipedia. Any road up. Wonder if it's on his IMDb. Let's have a look. How are we doing, by the way? What, we're up to 15. All right, we're getting there, aren't we? What you got onto the way back machine for, eh? Oh, I pressed the wrong thing, that's why. Stupid man. Oh dear. Right, where were we? Actor. Need to go back, don't we? See all. Right, I'll do a Control F. I'll type in Stargate. Control F. I'll just type star. Right, 1 of 9. Right, first up. Star Trek Enterprise, Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Next Generation, The Star Chamber. Oh, don't say Stargate. So I don't think you were in Stargate, Wingrace. So I'm not seeing it. I'll keep looking though. I bet he has though. I bet he has, 'cause everybody's been in Stargate at some point. Nope. Never mind. No Stargate for Michael Ensign, according to that. I was guessing he looks like he was in Stargate as a head of 50s era military, but it wasn't him, I guess. No, it wasn't. I'm surprised, actually. I forgot where I was now. Oh, they beamed up the president and all that. And anyway, the upshot is, this woman in the hospital seduces Riker to help him escape, but he gets captured again. And Kohler, Michael Ensign, we've just been talking about Kohler. Were you thinking of Collier? That's Robert Darby, isn't it? Stargate. But anyway, Kohler, who's the head of security, he wants to, he doesn't want anything to do with these aliens, and he shoots himself with Riker's phaser, because Riker had a phaser on him for some reason. But so he tries to martyr himself, but luckily the phaser was set to stun. But the president realises that they're not ready yet to be, in joining the Galactic Federation. They're not ready yet. So he says, we'll calm down. He says, we'll do the warp test and all that. Her plan is going to go for. They're going to do that. And he says, and then we'll take a step back and catch our breath. But we're not ready to initiate, first contact, with the Federation and all that stuff. So that's what their decision is. I said, well, fair enough, we will leave. But Caroline Seymour, Mirasta Yale, I think that's her name, just popped in my head. Am I right? Yes, I am. Blimey. She says, well, I've nothing to go back for. I've no family and all that. And so can I go with you? So they take her with them on the Enterprise, and we never see her again. Maybe she's gone to where Gillian, what's the face from Star Trek 4, Star Trek 4. Maybe she's gone with her, where she went, where the send them where the primitive people go. But anyway, I don't know. But she leaves with them, so they decide to leave. And said, we might not be back in your lifetime. She said, I don't care. I'm off on a spaceship. So there we go. And they leave, and we never go back to Malcor 3, as far as I know. The Wrath of First Contact. Oh dear. Windgrace, the king of puns. He says, one of my favourite ideas of Star Trek novels is that they have a big support group for all the random time displaced people. Yes, they should have, shouldn't they? Yes. Either time displaced or people from, less advanced worlds that they just pick up and deposit. Anyway, what's next? Galaxy's Child. This is a good one as well. With some not great CG work, but it's early CG, isn't it? When was this? When was season 4? Was it 1991? Yeah. So it's before Jurassic Park. So early CG. Anyway, the Enterprise encounters a life form. What's happening here? Yes, it's this one. Yes. What's the face? Dr. Leah Brahms is coming aboard to talk to Geordie about the ways he's faffed about with her engines. Remember, she's one of the designers of the Enterprise's engines. And Geordie created, in the last season, I randomly want some ravioli. Why not? You probably want proper ravioli. If I want ravioli, I get it out of a tin, in tomato sauce. Heinz ravioli. That's not like proper ravioli, but ravioli sandwiches and stuff. Anyway, I think I've got a tin actually in the pantry. Have I? Or did I eat it? I might have eaten it, but I don't know. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right, Leah Brahms. Yes, Geordie created a. When they were trapped in the booby trap episode, when they were trapped with the Promethean ship, the Menthars. The Menthars left her trapped in the booby trap, because that's what the alien reminds me of. Right. What, the Malcorians? Oh, this alien in here. Oh, yes, it is. Just like a big ravioli, doesn't it? With crinkly edges. Anyway, where were we? Oh, Leah Brahms. Yes. Geordie created he didn't create it. The computer created a holographic version of Leah Brahms to help him solve the problem of the Menthar. Is it Menthar? Whatever. Booby trap. So anyway, so he's all happy now because he kind of fell in love with her holographic version, and so he's all happy. But obviously, this is an episode of don't meet your heroes, you'll be disappointed, which is generally true. So anyway. So he meets her and she comes on board and she's all horrible. She says, oh, you're the one that buggered up my engines. That's the exact words from the script. Not really, I'm lying. There you go. She says, you're the one that messed up my engines. And so we're going to be rowing pretty quickly. There you go. He's showing her what they've done. But then they come across this alien life form. There it goes. It's zapping the Enterprise, and they've got to they shoot it and kill it accidentally. And obviously, I'm not landing on it because Netflix is stupid. Oh, it's still zapping them. Look, there you go. And they shoot it and kill it accidentally. There's Windgrace's ravioli. Is it a Gormagander? I don't know. Do we see what Gormaganders look like? Yeah, we do, don't we? It's not a Gormagander. But, or is it? I don't know. And anyway, they've killed it. But then it turns out it's having a baby. So, but before they do that, Geordie invites her to dinner. So he's setting the scene. Geordie's super rubbish at going out with girls and he overdoes it all the time. And so if you want advice about what to do, with women, don't ask Geordie, because later on in the season, Data asked Geordie for advice, and he actually just say, ask somebody who's better placed, because Geordie's really unlucky in love. But as we know, in the alternate future of All Good Things, he marries Leah, doesn't he? It's suggested it's Leah. It says Leah or Leia. Is his wife, but anyway, turns out she's married and all that stuff. Anyway, they find out that it's got a baby, so they get the baby out. Hang on, here it comes. Where are we? There we go. Pete's sake, got his face on her. Come on, show us the special effects. There we go. Not great CG. Hang on. Isn't that what Harry Mudhead is? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, that one. It's suggested he's with her in Picard season 3 as well. Is it? I can't remember. Look, I think it mentions his wife. Does it mention the name? I can't remember. So he obviously blew off her husband then, didn't she, for Geordie? Anyway, here comes the CG baby. It's before Jurassic Park, so we'll let it slide, so to speak. Anyway, out it comes, and it attaches itself to the Enterprise. It thinks the Enterprise is its mother, and it starts drawing energy from the Enterprise. They can't get rid of it, so they head to a place where there's more of them, whatever we want to call them. His kids have the same name as his kids in All Good Things. Do they? I can't remember. So transitive property makes it likely. Okay, Professor. Anyway. Where were we? Oh, they find a place where there's others of its kind, but they can't get it to detach. And meanwhile, these other big space ravioli are heading their way. But they've got to make it so that it will detach itself, so that they change the frequency of the energy, the ship's energy, from 23 centimetres to 0.02 centimetres. Whatever. Technobabble. And it detaches, and off they go. And but now he gets on with Leah Brahms. There you go. And she's her husband's calling, and so she's got to go take the call, leaving Geordie by himself. But maybe he does marry her. I like Professor Windgrace. Is there a game called that? On the DS or something. Anyway, so there we go. That's Galaxy's Child. A good episode. It is mentioned again in in Relics. They mention what they do in this in Relics, but it's a good episode. It's a nice one with the CG aliens and all that stuff. Right, next up, Night Terrors. I like this one. I'd actually forgotten about this episode, and I watched it. Coming on, I'm thinking, which one's this? And I genuinely couldn't remember it. But obviously, once I started watching it, it came back to me. But it is a good one, is this one? And I'm wondering, is it Oh, no, it isn't. I'm going to say, is it a Halloween episode? But no, it's not, because it was released in March of 1991. Couldn't be any further from Halloween, could it? What was the Halloween episode, by the way? Legacy was the one closest to Halloween on the 29th of October 1990. The one with Tashiya's sister. They should have swapped them round. This would have been pardon me, a good Halloween episode, this. Because it is pretty spooky in places. With a famous goof. See if you notice it, if I do land on the right thing. Right, so the Enterprise is heading into a binary star system. Am I pressing the right button? Don't know, probably not. There we go. The located the USS Britain, which is, I think, is a Miranda class ship. Anyway, in this binary system, and there's no life. No, there's one. Inconclusive life signs, and Deanna can't really pick anything up either with her empathy. But anyway, there we go. Ooh, I landed on it. Did you notice anything wrong with that? I mean, I'd say, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? You notice it says there USS Britain, but everywhere else in the episode, because the beam on board, you can see on the displays, it says Brattain, and they say the USS Brattain, but famously the model makers got it wrong, and they put it as You'd have thought they changed it, wouldn't you, for these, the remasters? You'd have thought they'd done a bit of a CG and turned the I into an A, but never mind, they didn't. But anyway, as you can see, it's a hang on, does it show it? Oh, never mind. It's a Miranda class ship, and a beam over. Everybody's dead except for one person. There we go. They've all killed each other or done things that has resulted in their deaths. And at first you might think, is it like The Naked Now or The Naked Time, where they've done that sort of thing? But it turns out it's not. It turns out basically what's happened. Everybody's had lack of dream sleep. Could have just put a scorch mark. Yes, they could. They could have just covered it up, couldn't they? Let's say with a scorch mark, as though something's hit it. But anyway, there's one person left alive, and he's a Betazoid, played by John Vickery, who you may know from probably most famously Babylon 5. He played a couple of people in Babylon 5, notably, I forgot his name. Notably, I can't remember. A Minbari, the Minbari that didn't believe in Delenn, but then did and sacrificed himself, martyred himself for Delenn. I keep thinking Wayoon, but it's not that. It's something like that, but it's not Wayoon, because that was Jeffrey Combs in Deep Space Nine, wasn't it? Anyway, that's John Vickery. He's still alive, but he's not of sound mind and body. Anyway, right, weird stuff starts happening. There's like a weird signal or something like that. Deanna starts having nightmares. Everybody else stops dreaming, so they can sleep, I think, but they're not dreaming, so they're not getting restful sleep. So they start acting weird, and they start having hallucinations and stuff like that. Deanna starts dreaming about floating. There we go, floating in space and seeing. There we go, seeing Eyes in the Dark, which is a good found footage film, which we did on Friday Night Apart with Fear. Eyes in that was obviously the binary star system. Anyway, turns out this is the one with the Tychon's Rift. I mentioned the Tychon's Rift a few episodes ago. This is the one where they're trapped in the Tychon's Rift. And anyway, people are starting to lose their tempers with each other, and there's going to be fights and all that jazz. And because they're not getting any sleep, not getting any dream sleep, REM sleep, they're all starting to lose their marbles, and that's what happened with the crew of the Brattain. Only 30, I think 36, or 38. I can't remember how many it says. Hang on, let me check. It might not say, but no, it doesn't say, I don't think. I think 36, there's 36 crew on the Britannia. I thought, not a very big crew, is it, for like a Miranda class ship? It's not that they've had a bigger crew, wouldn't you? Comparable, to a Constitution class, you'd have thought, wouldn't you? But anyway, never mind. I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, yes, they're all starting to have hallucinations and all that stuff. Riker hallucinates. He's got snakes in his bed. Picard keeps hearing his doorbell ringing on his ready room. Stuff like that. And they all start forgetting things. So, Picard thinks the ceiling's collapsing on him and all that stuff. And it ends up Data takes control of the Enterprise, or takes command. This is a good scene with Beverly. She imagines that all the corpses sit up. There you go, she's checking them there. She's going to show it. There we go. All the corpses, this is the crew of the Britannia, obviously, have sat up, and she's like freaking out, obviously. It's not real. It's a good spooky episode. It is really, really good. Anyway, Data ends up taking control of the command, because none of the others can do it. Something's going wrong when Riker's got his dishevelled hair. It's a bit like in that episode, Schisms. He's not had a good night's sleep. His hair's not in perfect order. Anyway, Worf tries to Minecraft himself, but Deanna stops him. Anyway, she finally realises, they suss out eventually that it's a Tychon's Rift, and she realises that her dreams, her nightmares, she calls them nightmares, but they're more just dreams, really, that she's in contact with aliens on the other side of the Tychon's Rift, and they're stuck on their side as well, and that they're giving her clues as to what to do. Apparently they need hydrogen. Why haven't they got hydrogen on their side of the rift? I don't know. But they need hydrogen because they keep saying eyes in the dark, 2 moons, or 1 moon orbiting or whatever. It's like hydrogen. So that's what they've got to do. So they've got to vent hydrogen into the Tychon's Rift, and hopefully the aliens on the other side will detonate it and they'll all be free. So that's what they're going to do. There's a fight in 10 forward, and Guinan gets a, whatever that is, a Blake 7 phaser out, and calms things. But anyway, so there we go. They're firing the hydrogen in, and luckily it works. And they get out, and Data sends the whole crew to bed, because obviously they can sleep now and all that stuff, and everything's lovely, and Data is in control of the ship for the night. It's a good episode. It's a good spooky episode, with a sci-fi twist that works. Like I said, Tychon's Rift. I think they mention a Tychon's Rift again, don't they? I'm sure they do. I'm sure I've heard it mentioned again, but I don't know where. Anyway, so there we go. So that's Night Terrors. Next up, Identity. Now then, I don't know if I like this one or not. I do. I like some bits about it, but I don't like episodes, for the most part, where a member of the crew turns into an alien. I didn't like that one in Enterprise, where Archer turned into that. This is a bit like that, although this came first. So turns into an alien. I didn't mind Tom Paris turning into whatever he turned into, Salamander, and that in I forgot to call that episode, the Warp 10 episode. I didn't mind that, but anyway, they had the Typhon Rift. Right, that's what I'm thinking of. Anywho, right, so we begin with some sensor from the USS Victory. Remember, that's where Geordi served before he went to the Enterprise. Remember, he built a model, didn't he? There was an episode where they were rendezvousing with the Victory, and Geordi built a model of the sailing ship, the Victory. But anyway, nearly pressed the wrong thing. Here we are. Well, it's from 5 years earlier. There we go. Star date 40164.7. There's younger Geordie, 5 years older, younger Geordie. They've gone to this planet. This is Tarcannon, I think. Or Channon, Tarcannon, isn't it? They pronounce it. I think it's that one. Let me check. Yes, Tarcannon 3. It's always 3 in it. I love the creative use of the holodeck in this. Yes, that's the bit I like about it, with the shadows. That's my favourite bit of this episode. Anyway, they're on Tarcannon 3 and an away team, and it turns out that the whole outpost had disappeared. They don't know what happened to them, and there were, I think, 4 on this away team, and 2 of the others have disappeared. And there she is. And Geordie's friend from back then is now Lieutenant Commander Susanna something or other. Susanna Lightgen, played by Marianne Plunkett. Apparently she's a singer or something like that. She does a lot of stage work, apparently. But anyway. There's just her and Geordie left. Like this, and one of the others has stolen a shuttlecraft, and it's heading back for Tarcannon 3. So they're in pursuit, or they're heading back as well. There you go. Mendez was seen on the Aries. That's another one, isn't it? Where is it? Whatever. So there's Mendez disappeared, and then there's another one that's stolen a shuttlecraft. So they're heading to Tarcannon 3. Are we going to see it? Hang on, where are we? Here it comes, right. Oh, for Pete's sake. Anyway, they find the shuttle, and it's basically heading top speed into the atmosphere. It's not slowing down. So she's nice, isn't she? So they're trying to hail whoever's on board, and but they're panicking. There you go, Lieutenant Hickman. But the shuttle blows up. There you go, like that. There you go. Cool. Looks Back to the Future blowing up. So poor Lieutenant Hickman's dead. Anyway, they're going to beam down to the planet. There's another shuttle on the planet's surface, which I think were taken by somebody else. And they find it. Is this from does it say what ship this is from? I can't remember. Do we get a close-up? I can't remember what ship it's from. Anyway, they beam down. Anyway, the upshot of it is they're being infected by the life form on this planet, and that's how they reproduce. They infect, I don't know. Can they only infect aliens, or do they infect other life on the planet? I don't know, but they infected the outpost, the people at the outpost, and they infected the away team from the Victory. Luckily, they don't seem to infect anybody from the Enterprise. Maybe it explains it, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But so they infected them, and so they get they're a homing. They go away, and then they get a strong homing incentive, like salmon, I suppose. Anyway, so. Basically what happens, there you go, she starts freaking out, she starts shaking and all that, and there's Susanna, and they find these footprints nearby, and it doesn't belong to any life on Tarcannon 3, but then she collapses. We're going to see it. There we go, she collapses there in engineering, and she got all this blue stuff on her. She looks like Stilton cheese. There you go. I like this effect, by the way, the eyes. We get close with the eyes. It's kind of spooky. I'm guessing she's got contacts in, and they're using ultraviolet light out there. But it looks really good, really kind of spooky. when she looks away, there we go. Ah, scary eyes. So it's transforming them into, a new form of life. And I think it's going to happen to Geordie too at some point. And he says, I'll let you know as soon as I start feeling the symptoms. Obviously, he doesn't. So anyway, this is where he does his investigations into this sensor log. This is where he does it with the shadows. There's a shadow there that he can't account for. I knew it were about, and I was watching it thinking, where's this blooming shadow? And I wouldn't have noticed it, but he notices it. It's there. So he recreates it on the holodeck. He keeps replaying it, and so he recreates it on the holodeck, and so off he goes, and it starts shaking or starts freaking out a bit, so he knows he's infected, but obviously he doesn't tell the doctor. She's a rubbish doctor anyway, but she does cure Susanna. But this is where he does the checks out the shadows and works out there. Oh, there you go. See, there's a shadow there that shouldn't be there. Removes all the other people that's casting shadows. There's just that shadow left, and it turns out, he's freaking out there. Look, he's getting it's the infection is spreading or whatever. Go on, show us. Oh, for Pete's sake! There we go. Says computer, show me the shape of what's causing this shadow and where it would be. And it just says a shape. It could be anything, couldn't it? But then he starts, transforming. There's Susanna, not looking well. But don't worry, they sort her out. Don't know how, can't remember, but they do. Geordie beams down. He can't pick up. They're kind of like chameleons. That's why you can't see them. They're blending to the background and stuff, and then you can't pick him up on sensors and stuff like that. So now Geordie's more infected. They can't pick him up on the sensors. So he's left the Enterprise. He beams down. But they've cured Susanna. Look, she's fine now. Ish. So she beams down. She says, I'll go and get him. So anyway, they've got some like UV lights or whatever, and they shine them on these others. There we go. And they see Geordie. Obviously, doesn't need his visor anymore. It's cured his blindness, turning into an alien, it seems. And Susanna goes up to him and says, Geordie, it's me. I'll reach out my hand. Come with me. And he does. And it's quite, heart-wrenching, I suppose, or heartwarming, I suppose, that he has changed into an alien, but there's something familiar about her that he's willing to trust, and she gives him a big hug. There we go. And so it's kind of nice. And anyway, they get him back, and he's fine, and there we go, they cure him, give him his visor back. But he's like, I could have kept me alien eyes, couldn't you do that? But never mind. Anyway, so he's fine, and then he talks to Suze, and he says, I didn't recognise you, but, there was something familiar, and I trusted you, so he thanks her for that. And that's the end of the episode. It's a good spooky episode-ish. Not as spooky as Night Terrors, but the bit with the shadow, I like the bit where he's working out the shadows on the holodeck. That's a cool bit. But anyway, Identity Crisis, it's not too bad. Next up, bit of Barclay. The Nth Degree. Reg Barclay's social skills are kind of improving. He's appearing in plays and stuff. He's not great. He's about as good as Adby, probably. It's better than Adby. But anyway, he's playing Cyrano de Bergerac. He keeps fluffing his lines and all that. Their Data's looking. They're all clapping at the end. But Data's like, it were crap. So wonder if he didn't like heckling him or something, like, get off. Or whatever. But he doesn't. So that, they're all saying, well done, Reg. Not long ago you wouldn't have done anything like this. You're really improving and all that stuff. Anyway, they encounter. They go to the Argo Array, which is a subspace telescope system that's started malfunctioning. They're going to show it. There we go. They've got another one, haven't they, called the Amagosa array. We saw it in Generations, but we also saw it in TNG as well, the Amagosa array, I think. But this is the Argus array, a subspace telescope. And it's malfunctioning, so they don't know why. And then they learn there's an alien probe. You can just see it there. There's an alien device there nearby. And it's they send over Geordie and Reg go over in a shuttle to check it out. Anyway, there's a flash of light. There we go. They're approaching it. Look, there's a flash of light. And it turns out and looks round, and Reg is unconscious. Oh, for God's sake. Reg is unconscious on the floor. For Pete's sake. Reg is unconscious on the floor. Or it would be if it should. There he is. So, what's happened to Reg? Right. So, they can't get away from this probe. Reg is fine. She says, you're okay. Still got some tests to do on your brain. And then Reg gets up and it started being all I don't know what's the word, like that with his hands, as though his mind is racing. That's what he's like. He says, it would be faster if you did this, that, and the other. Because it turns out Reg's intelligence has been improved a gazillion %. So he's getting more and more brainy all the time. But anyway, the probe starts moving towards them, and they don't know how it's moving. So there's no particulate matter and no subspace fields, so they don't know how it's moving. Gravity? I don't know. Gravitational field? I don't know. But whatever. They don't know how it's moving, but it's following them, and radiation's increasing, and they can't shoot it. It doesn't do anything. Hang on. But Reg has an idea. So you can fire photon torpedoes at it. I've improved the shields. It just goes on the computer. It's all weird stuff. I've improved the shields 300%. Fire photon torpedoes at it, so they do, and they blow up the probe. So anyway, so obviously they know that something's up with Reg. Anyway, Riker's asking him what he did, and so he's explaining it, obviously over Riker's head. Then he's acting again now. He's practicing his rehearsal for his next Cyrano de Bergerac thing, and his Tony Award-winning stuff, and they're all crying. And that's very good, Reg. So he's like I say, his confidence. He's got loads of confidence, and he's super brainy. And he even makes a pass at Deanna. Anyway, Reg is supposed to be on duty, but then they find that he's in the holodeck, but he's working over some stuff with Einstein. Is this the same fella playing Einstein that we saw in All Good? No, is it All Good Things? I can't remember. The one where is he playing poker or something with Einstein and Isaac Newton and Stephen Hawking? Is it the same fella? I don't know. It might be. I don't know. He says he had an idea. So anyway, Reg has the idea that all the nuclear reactors on the Argus array, they're all going to fail in X amount of hours, and they've got to repair them one by one. That's what Geordie says, but Reg says, "Oh no, we can do them all at the same time, repair them all simultaneously, and not go through them one by one." He says, "I can write a program that'll do it by tomorrow." So that's what he does. But suddenly something goes wrong with the array. So Reg goes to the holodeck. He says the consoles in engineering are not fast enough, so he goes to the holodeck and plugs himself into the computer. Like that. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know, when they use the psychics in Babylon 5 to take over the Earth Force ships. Kind of reminds me of that, what he's doing here. But there he is. Plugged himself into he becomes the Enterprise computer, and is taking over it more and more. He's stretching himself, and he ends up taking control of the Enterprise and taking it as Picard says, to the centre of the galaxy. Not where, not the centre of the galaxy where Shakari is, a different centre of the galaxy. Where the Cytherians are. That's where he does. Off it goes. There we go. They're in the centre of the galaxy, apparently. And then a big alien face appears. There we go. Looks familiar. Does it say? Who plays the Cytherian? Where are we? The Nth Degree. Have a look. K.E. Cooter. I've no idea. I have no idea who that is. Have I seen him in anything? Ah! Yes, I have. He plays Enduran in The Last Starfighter. He's like the president of Rylos, isn't he? So, yes, I thought he seemed familiar. They're both big heads. Oh dear. Anyway, there we go. So his big head appears. And what's his face? Reg, he disconnects himself from the computer, comes in and explains. It's the Cytherians. They're exploring the galaxy. They want to explore the galaxy, but they don't want to leave home, and they bring people to them. But so they just want to learn all about us. So they spend 10 days there. It all ends up being lovely. And they spend 10 days exchanging information with the Cytherians, and the Cytherians send the Enterprise back to where it came from. Because obviously, if they tried to go back at normal warp from, because they've got 30,000 light years, it'd take them 30 years, you know. Unless you're in the Enterprise A, then you can get there in no time at all. But never mind. But anyway, they've got Reg is saying, you know, he remembers everything he did. He just can't remember how he did it. You know, he's lost his super duper powers, brain powers. But anyway, but he still remembers how to play chess. Because he goes up to somebody playing the 3-dimensional chess, and he says, "Oh, checkmate in 4 moves." He says, "Oh, Reg, I didn't know you played chess." And he goes, "I don't." And goes like that and gurns at camera. And then the episode ends. It's a good one. It's a good one. Is the Nth Degree. I like it because it's Reg. Everybody likes Reg Barkley. And there we go. So moving on. Cupid. A lot of, you know, a fan favourite, but not one of my favourites. I don't mind it, but it's all, 'cause it's got Q in it, so that's a positive. Anyway, the Enterprise arrived at some planet or other. Where you're not allowed to go down to their ancient ruins for some reason. But there's some sort of conference that Picard's doing a speech at. And it turns out Vash is there. And she just let herself into Picard's quarters somehow. But there she is. Oh, she's brought him a, what is it? I forgot the call. Blasphemy. Yeah, well, it's me, innit? Anyway, so whenever you're seeing them looking lovingly at one another, it's not acting because they were a couple. Maybe, I think. Anyway. So, she's there for, you know, the archaeological thing, but she's not really, because, you know, it's Vash, and she's going to go and steal something or whatever. But anyway, Q turns up, and, we learn that, they met in the Captain's Holiday episode, by the way, if you missed that. It turns out he's not told anybody about her. So she's a bit miffed at that. She's asking everybody, and Captain's a private person. Anyway, then Q appears, and it turns out he owes Picard a debt. Because remember when they took his powers away in the episode Q-less last season, he went to the Enterprise as a human, and then was going to sacrifice himself. If you want a recurring role on TNG, sleep with Patrick. Exactly. So obviously, Martha Dubois, who played Ardra, obviously she didn't. Anyway, unfortunately, I'd rather see more Ardra than more Vash, but never mind. I saw Jennifer Hetrick in something else. What did I see her in? I went, oh, it's Vash. What was it now? Can't remember. I'm going to have to look it up now because it's got me wondering. What did I see her in? Quite recently. It might not have been something new, but I saw it recently. Jennifer Hetrick, American actress. Right, what have I seen her in? IMDb. She were in Sliders. I didn't really watch Sliders, though, to be honest. Right, what did I see her in? She were in 24, but I'm not thinking of that. Because I haven't watched that recently. Oh, I thought it was something new I'd seen her in. It mustn't have been. She were in Buffy. Dark Skies. X-Files. Maybe that. Yes, it was X-Files. Yes, she played Skinner's wife, didn't she? Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. She were in X-Files. She played Skinner's wife. Assistant Director Skinner. Anyway, where were we? So Q owes Picard a debt because he got his Q powers back because of that episode, Q-less. So he wants to do something nice for him. So, but this is where he sends them on into a fantasy world. Here we go. Sends them to Sherwood Forest along with his crew. There they are. This is the famous thing. Hang on.
Sir, I protest. I am not a merry man.
Dear. So, classic comedy. Anyway, and I'm surprised actually. They talk about Nottingham, the Sheriff of Nottingham, and they don't say in the American way, which would be Nottingham. I thought they said that, but they don't. Even the American actors say Nottingham. They don't say Nottingham. But anyway, there's Sir Guy of Gisborne, and turns out, they can be hurt in this fantasy that Q's created. Q says he's giving it, the fantasy, a life of its own, so even he doesn't know what to do. Turns out they've got to go and rescue Maid Marian from Nottingham Castle. There she is. It's Vash is Maid Marian. With her maid, I find her hilarious, stuff she says.
Of spirits, me lady, but I have some nice fresh leeches.
Oh dear. Anyway, so she agrees to marry Sir Guy of Gisborne eventually, because either marry him or he's going to execute her. So obviously she says she's going to marry him. Anyway, Diana's practicing her bow and arrowing, her archery. That's the word, isn't it? And she's rubbish at it. There you go. She's supposed to hit that tree. She hits Data instead. Anyway. So they've got to go and rescue Vash. So that's Picard's going to do that. There he is. But he gets captured. Vash pulls his sword on him and says she's going to marry Guy of Gisborne. And Q's fascinated by her. Oh, aye, she's writing a note. She wants her maid to take this note to Sherwood Forest. And but Q stops her and says, just the way he says it, I just think it's hilarious. Let's have a... Where he reads it out. Hang on, let's have a bit... Hang on, I forgot to bloody mute it, didn't I?
This is wonderful.
To me.
A letter to Riker. Quick. Come to the castle, save the captain.
The way he says it is that funny, isn't it? Come to the castle, save the captain. Oh dear. Anyway, so they have a big fight at the end. They rescue Picard and Vash, who are going to be executed. They're going to have the heads lopped off But there's a big fight, and he saves Vash, and Q says, "Well, I hope you've learned. Your crew could have been killed all for the love of a woman." Says, showing how rubbish humans are, and she says, "No, he's brilliant because he's my boyfriend in real life." And then they go back to the Enterprise, and it turns out she's going to bog off with Vash, with Q. She appears to him in a flash of Q light. And she's going to go off an adventure with Q, which she does, and we don't see her again. I don't know, is it 2 years, 3 years? She's with Q, and she pops up again in Deep Space Nine, in season 1 of Deep Space Nine, the only episode that Q appears in it, because Q's scared of the Cisco, it seems. But anyway. Right, so they're off, and there we go. Says goodbye to her, gives her a kiss, and off they go. It's all right. It's funny. It's a comedy episode, isn't it? So there we go. Cupid. It's a bit of fun. He's not a merry man. Right, next up, the Drumhead classic episode. I'm surprised it didn't rank higher in my Star Trek top 10. To be honest, this one, but. Classic episode about conspiracy and jumping to conclusions, but I don't know. But anyway, they've got this Klingon on board, a Klingon exchange officer. Turns out he's a spy. He's been feeding information to the Romulans or something. And there's also been an explosion in engineering that's left the Enterprise, basically adrift, so to speak. There's no warp engines, and they're thinking it's his fault because it turns out he was stealing information about the warp engines or something, and so he thinks that he's planted a bomb. But it turns out he hasn't. But anyway, then the Starfleet sends Admiral, there she is, Nora Sati, played by Gene Simmons, who looks different when he's not in his Kiss makeup, doesn't he? I know, it's the actress Gene Simmons. Who plays a really good part in this, I must admit. Don't know why she's not wearing, I think she's Admiral Nora Sati, isn't she? But she's not in the Starfleet uniform. Been brought out of retirement, but anyway, whatever. She's there with her assistants, who's a Betazoid, with looks like he's got his top on back to front with his collar at the front. Oh, man. She's going to do an investigation anyway, so right. Anyway, she uncovers what she thinks is a conspiracy. He denies all knowledge of the explosion and all that stuff. But they work out that he were hiding information in his blood, and you could, they showed it actually in Enterprise. So it's like technology that's hundreds of years old. What's his face? I forgot his name. In the very first episode of Enterprise, Tiny Lister, that Klingon, he had information in his blood, that can decode in a computer. Anyway, she just starts spreading the investigation across the ship, blaming poor people for things that they haven't done, including him, Simon Tarsis. There he is, crewman Tarsis, who's part Vulcan. One of his grandfathers were a Vulcan. I think paternal or maternal, I don't know, whatever. One of his grandfathers were Vulcan, which is why he's got ears made out of Play-Doh. Anyway. And she finds out that his paternal, or whatever, his grandfather, were Romulan and not Vulcan, and he lied on his Starfleet application. So she's, she's making out that there's baddies everywhere, and she's been all accusing people of being part of this conspiracy. By the way, it turns out, it says that she helped uncover the alien conspiracy a few years ago, and I'm guessing that means that one from the episode Conspiracy with the aliens, inside with that one. But I don't think they mentioned that in that episode. But anyway, So she's having loads of hearings and just questioning everybody, and Picard's not happy with it. He says this has gone far enough, but she says no, it's not. It's going to continue, and an admiral's coming to oversee not trials. What's the word? Tribunals, I suppose you could call it. Where they're just questioning everybody because she's seeing, conspiracy everywhere, and obviously Picard's not happy about this because it's unconstitutional. Anyway, he ends up on the stand. This is where he does his famous. Says, "I remember words from when I was a boy, when the first chain link is forged." Blah blah blah. All about our freedoms are stepped on, and stuff like that. That was Judge Aaron Satie said that, her father, and she explodes. She goes, "How dare you!" and all that stuff. She's going to get angry in a minute. Hang on, I've gone past it. She explodes at him. She said, "I brought down bigger people than you, Picard." There we go. "Now expose you." And the admiral that's there obviously thinks he's heard enough, so he leaves, and the hearings are ended, and she'll retire in disgrace now. And Picard does a little speech about we've got to be vigilant for people like that. It's not all fun and sunlight and rainbows in the Federation, which is fair enough. In proper classic Star Trek, things like this popped up occasionally, didn't they? Where it's not all fun and games and everybody's all honest as the day is new, etc. But in New Trek, every day is like this, isn't it? But never mind. Good episode, the Drumhead. I think it was a Jonathan Frakes episode, wasn't it? I think. Yes, it was a Jonathan Frakes episode, yes. And a good one, a bottle show. It shows how good bottle shows could be. Right, next up. Half Alive. This is another one I generally skip. But it's a good episode. But it's a Luxana Troy. I think it's the best Luxana Troy episode, in my opinion. She's not annoying in this much. Anyway, they arrive at this planet. Don't ask me what it's called. I'll tell you in a minute. Kalon 2. Not Kalon 3, Kalon 2. They arrive here because their star's dying, and they're going to help out a scientist called Timothy, played by David Ogden Spears, who we've seen in Stargate. He played the replicator chap in Stargate Atlantis, didn't he? And they're going to help him with his experiments. But they don't know a lot about this race. They're isolationists, but they're allowing Federation help because they're going to die otherwise. But anyway, she's on board for some reason. Is Luxana with a nice hairdo. She's had her hair done for the occasion. Anyway, she's here. So anyway, she takes a liking to Timothy. Oh, there he is, David Ogden Spears. Takes a liking to him and kind of not seduces him. Well, she does in her own way, but you know what I mean. And anyway, so he does his work, and they go to another city. There's Mr. Hom, look. They go to this. They find a star that he can do his experiments on. They've got to reignite the star or something. So they're gonna they're faffing about with photon torpedoes. Where's Dr. Soren when you need him? But anyway, so they're faffing about with photon torpedoes to reignite this star. So there they are. Look, they're arriving at the system. There we go. They fire the photons. Pew pew. There we go. And it doesn't work. It does for a bit. It works for a bit. The star flares up or whatever as they expect, but then it goes wrong and the star blows up, so to speak. So they've got to get out of there pretty sharpish. Is it here? Hang on, where are we? Look, something's going wrong. I think looks concerned. There we go. Boom! They get out of there. Warp 2. I said, oh, it nearly worked. Well, nearly's not enough. Anyway, so it turns out he's got to go home, as Timothy says, I'm going home to die. And thankfully, he's not a cockney. There's a joke, isn't there? Have I come in here to die? No, you come in yesterday. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. He's going home to die. And it turns out on Kalon 2, people, it's a bit like Logan's Run. People, it's their tradition that they end their lives at the age of 60. And he's like 4 days away from that or whatever. And obviously, she's outraged. Look, she's outraged, is Luxana, because 60's no age, is it? In the 24th century. It's not no age now, really, is it? But so she's outraged. But you know, it's what they do. It's how they live. They've not, you know, they don't know any other. And I'm guessing it's all done humanely. You know, I don't think that's stabs himself or all like that. It's probably do they do some drug or something? It doesn't go into it. They have a little ritual. That they do, and all the family are around them, and all that stuff, and it's all done, you know, really good. And but he's fallen in love with her. Look, oh, they've done it. Look, and anyway, he has an idea about his experiment. And he's thinking, oh, hang on, look, we can do this, but I've got to go back home and die in 4 days. Anyway, so he thinks, right, I'm going to ask for asylum. So he goes to Picard and asks for asylum. Because he wants to finish his work. Because he tries to tell his own people, you know, but they won't accept his work for some reason. I don't know why. I think they assign somebody else. You think if somebody were coming close to dying, especially in a project as important as this, they'd have more than just him working on it, wouldn't you? You would think. But anyway. So he's on the Enterprise. And his family, his daughter, beams aboard the Enterprise to talk to him, and it's somebody we know. There she is. Going to show her. Come on, not back of it. There she is. It's Ensign Rowe. Obviously, Michelle Forbes playing his daughter. We'll see Ensign Rowe next season, I think. She's come aboard to say, you know, come on, you've got to do your ritual thing. It's what we do. Anyway. And he decides, he thinks, oh no, because, you know, it's threatening their way of life, you know, and all that stuff. So he decides to go back anyway and end his life. As is tradition, he's not happy about it, but he's going to go do it for his family and his people. Because it's causing a diplomatic stir. Anyway, she's going to go with him. The resolution, that's it. There you go. She's going with him. Is Luxana. She says she promises not to cause any trouble. Bet she did. She doesn't take Mr. Hom with her for some reason. But anyway, off she goes. There you go. She's going to beam down with him. So there we go. And I don't know if it gets mentioned again. I don't know. But we do see Luxana again. But you know, I don't know. It's one of those thought-provoking episodes in it about life and death, and you know, are you valuable as you enter old age? And I'm worrying about that now myself. Anyway, moving on. This one, controversial episode. I don't know, not at the time, but since I suppose it is The Host, where we first meet the Trill. Or do we? I don't know. Did they ever explain it? Why the Trill are different in this? I don't know. But anyway, never mind. Right, so here we go. He's a Trill, apparently. And he's also in a physical relationship with Beverly. Because they're just being, nearly caught snogging in the turbo lift by Data. Anyway, so he's called Odan. Turns out he's not called Odan. We don't know what he's called, but the symbiont inside him is called Odan, and Odan has fallen in love with Beverly, and it's a bit confusing as to what's going on, Obviously, in Deep Space Nine and other Star Trek, the Trill Society is being expanded upon, but this is the first time we see them. Obviously, we don't know much about them, but anyway, so she's having this relationship with him. Is good. They're taking him. He's like an ambassador or whatever. They're taking him to do some talks on this war-torn planet or whatever. There's two people from the same race. I forgot what the planet's called, but they're from like different moons, and they're like at war, and he's mediating between them. Anyway, there they are. Just can't keep her hands off him. Well, anyway, there you go. Alphans and Beatons, not Moonbase Alpha, but from these two moons, they're at war with each other. There they are. Anyway, so they agree to meet and start talks. And Riker's going to pilot the shuttle because apparently he can't transport. I don't know why they don't. They agree to send him on a shuttle. They're going to show it. There we go. And Riker's going to pilot the shuttle. They're going to show it. I've got my hand up there for I don't know. But anyway. There they are. In the shuttle. I don't know why do we transport down, but turns out you can't transport these Trills, even though we've seen loads of Trills transport. But never mind. Can't transport these Trills. They're in a shuttle. Anyway, they get attacked by a ship from one of the other moons, and he gets hurt, and Riker says, "Transporters out now." And he goes, "No, if you transport me, it'll kill me," and all that. So is it because he's injured, or is it just these Trills you can't transport? I don't know. But anyway, he managed to get the shuttle back. And anyway, so it turns out that the host is dying, but Odan is inside, the parasite, as they call him. But turn out they need another Trill, and it's 40 hours away. Is another Trill host. So they decide to stick Odan. Well, he volunteers, does Riker, to have Odan put in him. Wingray says we also know Starfleet knew about Trill before the original series. So what a dumpster fire! Can't remember. Did the Trill? Oh, yes, because Trill have been in Trill have been in like Discovery and Strange New Worlds and that, haven't they? Yes, they have. Yes. Yes, it is a dumpster fire. But never mind. I think they didn't want to be doing that makeup. Wouldn't have looked attractive, would it, on what's the face that plays Jadzia? And they went with the perfect mate, Famke Janssen. They went with her makeup, didn't they, instead of the lumpy forehead makeup. Anyway. A previous Dax host slept with McCoy when he was a student. Oh, yes. Doctor's hands, she said, or something like that. These warm hands or whatever. Yes, you did. I remember that. Anyway, back to this one. He volunteers to have Odan shoved in him. And there we go. I don't think the Trills look like that either, do they, that we've seen, all coloured, but never mind. So in he goes, and everything's hunky-dory, and apparently Riker is completely gone, or subdued, or whatever, suppressed, I don't know. He is Odan now. None of this, it's a joining, a mixture and all that, but I don't know. He's Odan. He's not Odan Riker or whatever, or no, it won't be, it'd be Will Odan. There's none of that, is there? Nothing of the host survived. No, they're not to Goa'uld either. Anyway, so she's wondering now, is Beverly, was she in love with Odan or was she in love with the host? Probably the host, to be honest. But don't stop her from jumping into bed with Riker in a bit, because he carries on with his mediation. He proves that he is Odan. He talks to him about, the previous times that he's mediated for them and all that stuff. But Anyway, she goes to see him, and there you go, and ends up snogging him because she can't keep her hands off him, even though it's Will Riker, which would make it awkward, wouldn't it? Well, are you going to leave? I'm not going. Snog. All these beardy bristles in her face. Don't tell Deanna. Anyway, he's getting ill, by the way. He's kind of starting to reject. His body's starting to reject the symbiont. But the Trill host is on its way. Anyway, he struggles through. He gets through the mediation. Oh, see, I've gone too far. He gets through the mediation, just manages. They set a course to intercept the Trill ship, and thank God he didn't go into Wesley. Yes, that'd have been even more. Thank God Wesley's at Starfleet Academy. Oh dear. Anyway, where were we? He gets through the media. He successfully, mediates peace between them two peoples. Does that? They get they get Odan out of Will. Will's fine, and the new Trill host arrives, and it turns out it's a woman, a very attractive woman. Anyway, she arrives, and she looks very, I don't know, robotic. She just comes in and just goes, "Doctor," there you go, say it. Oh, look, hang on, let's do it again. Oh dear. That was a very, also starring Gates McFadden. Anyway, here she comes.
Doctor?
Oh, he says it. Also starring Gates McFadden.
I am Curiel. I am to become host to Odan.
I become host to Odan. So in this, are the hosts just like bloody empty vessels or something? I don't know, but anyway. So she does that. Now she's Odan, and then they do the little thing. I do love you, Beverly. And she says, I know, I love you too, but, it's too different, and we can't carry on. So bugger off. I'm going to go marry Captain Picard in a bit. It's fine. But another Beverly episode. I say she had one at the beginning of the season. She got one at the end now. But it's a decent episode, even though you can't say they buggered up the Trill because it's the first episode with the Trill in it. So they buggered up the Trill later, didn't they, I suppose? They changed it later. Star Trek's not perfect, is it? It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Even classic Trek's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But it's still a good episode about, I don't know. Is love a visual thing, or is it, do you fall in love with the inner person? It's a bit of both, isn't it? But you don't see her and Will, awkward glances with each other after this, do you? But anyway, never mind. It's another notch on Will's bedpost, anyway. Anyway, right, next up, The Mind's Eye. This is it's a Manchurian Candidate episode, is this one, The Mind's Eye. Geordie's on his way to Riser in one of them little tiny shuttlecraft that I don't think can go to warp, can they? Is it going to show it? Show it. Oh, for Pete's sake, go all the way to the beginning. Here it comes. There it is. When they're little it's more like a shuttle pod, isn't it, than a shuttlecraft? Why are they giving them other, proper shuttlecraft that can go to warp? But, these can't. But these are apparently impulse nacelles. I didn't know that was such a thing. But anyway. Even Hollow O'Brien must suffer. I don't know. I can't remember. Is that in Deep Space Nine? I can't remember. Anyway, where were we? Geordie's on his way to Riser in a poxy little shuttlecraft. must take him years to get there. They must have dropped him off. They must have. Why not just beam him? I don't know. But anyway, they must have been going near Riser, and they said, "Oh, you can get in the shuttlecraft in a couple of hours there." Right, instead of just beam. I don't know, but whatever. So here he's on his way. Encounters a Romulan. There we go. A Romulan warbird, and they kidnap him, and all that stuff. And they're gonna brainwash him. In this episode, is it? Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember. Oh, in this episode. Oh, yes. In this episode, yes, he shoots. Later on, he shoots O'Brien in this episode. Yes, he does. I thought about the previous one. Dear. Anyway, so they're going to brainwash Geordie in this, and because the Enterprise has gone to a Klingon colony. There's like a bit of an uprising. They want to secede or whatever from the Empire, and this Klingon ambassador, who's in his ambassadorial robes that we've seen in the Star Trek movies, Ambassador Kamarag wears similar clothes. If it shows him, never mind. Anyway, he's there to help move it along, so to speak. I've forgotten his name. I can't remember. Just bear with me. Where are we? Is he Kel? I can't remember. Where are we? No, he's Va. Is he? No, Kel. Ambassador Kel. That's who that is. Anyway, so they arrive at the colony, and meanwhile showing Geordie being brainwashed. They're showing him. Apparently, this is what they do in Manchurian Candidate things. They create what's called an altar, don't they? Not an altar like to God, an altar to create an alternate identity. And apparently, they do. I've read about it somewhere, but I can't remember where. Where they show like terrible images to you, to make your brain more malleable, and they show you like really horrible, violent images and stuff like that, and keep showing it to you over and over, and then you start getting used to that, and then they show you something even worse. And it's how they can create multiple identities or suppressed identities for a Manchurian Candidate. Anyway, it's Silic who's doing this. John Fleck playing a Romulan in Enterprise. He played the Suliban Silic, didn't he? Silic, innit? Anyway, so they're doing that, and but it turns out there's somebody lurking in the background in these scenes. I'll probably not land on it. There's somebody in the shadows in these. There we go. Somebody lurking in the shadows there with a familiar voice, but you think, oh, I know that voice, but I think you can see a bit too much of them there. But never mind. But anyway, we'll come back to that in a couple of episodes' time. Anyway, they brainwash him. They want him to assassinate somebody. But before that, there we go. We're on a holodeck recreation of the Enterprise. They order him to kill Chief O'Brien. That's what Geordie sees with all his Romulan text. So he just shoots O'Brien, and anyway, he goes back to the Enterprise. Oh, by the way, they put on Riser that they sent a replacement of him, somebody who looks a bit like him, to go on to Riser, so that as far as the Risers are concerned, he was there. But anyway, we don't learn about that afterwards. They don't say anything about it, but never mind. Couldn't see this much on a static CRT TV. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember what it were like on old tellies. Anyway, he comes back saying he's had a lovely time on Riser and all that. He's got all these memories that they must have implanted of his week on Riser, how long he's been there. I don't know how long he was there. Anyway, this is Governor Vag, I don't know how to pronounce it, who just wants to put down the insurrectionists, but he accuses the Federation of supplying the rebels with weapons. And some get, and there you go, one of the weapons, and it turns out it's not a Federation weapon, it's a Romulan phaser. Didn't know Romulans made phaser, but a Romulan made phaser. But anyway, then there we go, Geordie goes to the cargo bay, and beams down some weapons to the rebels, but covers his tracks, and then I'm guessing just forgets about it afterwards. But he's saying, "Oh, you've just beamed some stuff to the rebels." Anyway, Geordie says, there's everybody that could do this has got an alibi except for me. So, because obviously Geordie had never do anything like this. But anyway, and then we learn that the where are we? Oh, for Pete's sake, then we learn that Ambassador Kell, he's in on it. He's a baddie. Must be working with the Romulans, I'm guessing. So he says to Geordie, "You will kill Governor Va. They're going to come to the Enterprise. You will kill him, and all that. And then say you were acting alone. He's been a Manchurian candidate. He is Sir Han, isn't he?" Meanwhile, Geordie's having nightmares. He can't sleep. He goes to see the doctor, and she says he's fine, whatever. Anyway, meanwhile, Data's still doing his investigation, and he susses it all out. He works out that Geordie's being brainwashed, so he goes down and they intercept him just in time as he's about to shoot the governor. Oh, see, I've gone too far. There we go. The captain call out, "Geordie!" and he stops him. Even he managed to fire the phaser. Here he comes, look. Here he comes. Come on, bloody hell. Like you have a 5-second skip. There we go. Stops him just in time. Pew, pew, with his lightsaber. Like, isn't it? They stop him just in time. And he's implicated. So, they got away with it too, if one for you meddling kids. So Data explains what's happened. Geordie's being brainwashed. And then we cut to Geordie. He's obviously got to go through counselling sessions now. He says, "I remember being on Riser." But then she gets a memory out of him of when he saw the Romulan warbird. And he says, "Oh, I'm not sure of anything anymore." And she says, "It'll take a long time, but he's fine for the next episode." So he's fine after a week. A week's worth of counselling, and he's fine. But it's a good episode, is Mind's Eye. And it introduces a character that's going to pop up in a couple of episodes' time. Right, moving on. Episode 25. In theory, this is one for the girls, is this one. This is one where Data... somebody falls in love with Data. We're going to see her in a minute. There she is. I forgot her name. I've forgotten the bloody name. I'm terrible. Jenna DeSora. There we go. She falls in love with Data. Apparently they're friends, even though we've never seen her before. But there's 1,000 people on the ship. There's obviously people that we're not going to see, isn't there? But apparently her and Data are friends, even though she's only a lieutenant. He's lieutenant command, but never mind. They're friends, and he gives her advice on things and supports and stuff like that, and she ends up falling in love with him. She's just come out of a relationship, so he's obviously the rebound and all that, but she starts having feelings for him because he's always there for her and he's always friendly and all that stuff. They're exploring the dark matter nebula, by the way. That's the other story, the B story. A recital. There they are. Data's playing. They're all on different instruments. I don't bloody know what they are. Is that an oboe, a clarinet, flute, something else, and one of them? French horn? I don't Because apparently everybody in Enterprise can play a musical instrument. I mean, we saw O'Brien playing a double bass or a cello or something at one point, didn't we? Did we ever see him do that again? I don't know. Anyway. So, there we go. So there we go. They're getting close. Look, she's talking about, about Data, saying the funniest things, and she puts her arm round him and stuff. It's obviously she's becoming attached to him. They're modifying some photon torpedoes to have a look inside this dark matter nebula, etc. So that's what they're going to do. Then the Enterprise starts experiencing some malfunctions and stuff, because it turns out that these pockets of dark matter or something are intersecting with the Enterprise and causing problems. But meanwhile, she's kissing Data and stuff. So Data's got to write new subroutines. He's going around asking everybody for advice about what to do with Jenna. And Deanna reminds him and me that Jenna's not some experiment in humanity. She's a real person, so you've got to be careful you don't hurt her feelings. Riker just says, "Oh, go on, get her, and all that." He's giving it all that look. Get in the. So he takes her flowers and all that. So they become a couple for a while, and it's a bit cringe, to be completely honest. It's not going to go anywhere, but he's trying his best, his Data. But by the end, obviously, it's not enough. It's not real, is it? Because he's got no emotions, has he, yet? But he's trying his best. Anyway, so they've got to find a way. I think the Enterprise gets stuck in these dark matter thingamabobs. So they've got to find a way out. And what they're going to do, they're still at it, look. They're going to use a shuttle to fly ahead of... yes, somebody dies. Yes, I forgot about that. Where is it? There she is. There you go. She gets killed. Philadelphia experiment style. Just obviously something's dark matter thingamabob has gone through the Enterprise there and fused her with the deck or whatever, and it kills her. So they've got to find a way out before more damage is done and their data shows what's going on. So they've got to find a way out, plot a course through there, but they can't do it far enough in advance, so they decide they'll use a shuttle. The shuttle will fly in front of the Enterprise, and it'll detect the dark matter things. That's what they'll do. And Picard says, "I'm going to fly it," and obviously Riker says, "Well, no, you're not going to." And Picard says, "Yes, I am going to." So he says, "All right, fair enough." So off Picard goes, and it goes okay for a little while, and then it all goes wrong, and they beam him out just in time. Hang on. They beam him out just in time as the shuttle explodes. We've met, and they get out. Okie dokie. Out of the Mutara Nebula. I don't show it there. There's a shot earlier on. But it's the Mutara Nebula. Or Vij. Take your pick. Just in a different colour. Anyway, they get out. But then she goes to see Data, does Jenna. And she says, "I'm breaking up with you." And so he says, "Fair enough. I will delete that program." He says, "Okay, bye." And that's it. And he's just left with Spot. As she leaves, Spot jumps up and he goes, "Hello, Spot." So there you go. There we go. But in Good Shepherd, in Voyager, the day's dark matter was never seen or proven before. There you go. Does it say that? I can't remember. Another dumpster fire. And Voyager were after this, wasn't it? It is dark. I'm sure it's a dark matter nebula. I'm sure that's what they describe it as. Where are we? Plot. Right, here we go. Yes, dark matter. Yes. Well, it's not a dark matter nebula. It's a nebula, but it's got dark matter in it. Theorized life might have evolved differently in the nebula because of the volume of dark matter detected. Anyway, there we go. Distortion pockets, that's what they call them, what they're intercepting. But it's caused by the dark matter. Anyway, yeah, it's a decent episode. Adam Green says, hello Adam Green, I like the episode Remember Me. Yes, that was right at the beginning of the season. It is a good one. A lot of good episodes in season 4. But anyway, then we're on to the final episode of season. By the way, it's fine. It's for the girls. It's got a love story. Right, Redemption, Part 1. See where it gets exciting. There's Worf. I forgot what's happening. Yes, they're heading to the Klingon homeworld. I've just remembered. They're heading to the Klingon homeworld because it's time for Gowron to officially become Chancellor of the Klingon Empire. Remember, they have no emperor at this point for some reason. Don't know why, but they haven't. But they will have one in a couple of seasons' time. But never mind. Anyway, right. And Picard, as the arbiter of succession, is got to be there to oversee matters. So that they're heading there. And he's gone to see Worf, saying, it's about time. Judas is dead. It's about time. We've stopped all this this nonsense, about your dad and all that stuff. And your call it now. My brain's gone. Is that accepted? What is he accepted? I've forgotten what the bloody hell. What is it called now? Just bear with me. Discommendation, that's it. I couldn't remember the bloody word then. It says about time we've ended all this discommendation nonsense, and he says, well, whatever. It's not time yet. Anyway, right, so I think the Bortas pulls alongside with Gowron aboard, and he says, we'll need your help because the Empire's going to slip into civil war. Because it turns out the Duras sisters. Duras had 2 sisters called Lursa and Beto. And they're going to challenge Gowron's claim to the chancellorship. That's what they're going to do. And then Picard says, well, I'm on here as the arbiter of succession. I'll do my bit, but that's as far as we can go. The Federation can't help them militarily and all that stuff. Worf asks him, there he goes saying, I must speak with you, as I do not hear the words of traitors' eyes. And he says, tells him all about why he accepted discommendation, because Juras's father betrayed the Kittimer to the Romulans and all. It wasn't his father. And he says, well, why did you do, and he says, well, the Duras family were powerful on the council and all that stuff. But he says, well, I can't do out about it now. But anyway, never mind. We learn that Guinan's a really good shot, but whatever. So he goes to see his brother, Kern, who's captain of a bird of prey. But it learns that Kern wants to side with the Duras sisters because he doesn't like Gowron. But Worf says, no, I'm the older brother. You'll do as I say. We will bide our time. And when the war starts, which it obviously will, we will offer our help because Kern has got 4 squadron commanders or something ready to side with him. He says, then we'll offer our help to Gowron for a price to get our honour back. So, anyway, go to the right of succession thing. for Gowron. But then the Duras sisters arrive with Duras's son, Toral. Is it going to show him? For Pete's sake. Anyway, there's Barbara March as Lursa. And Gwyneth Walsh as Beto. Anyway, whatever. There it is, Toral, a young son, an illegitimate child of Duras. Look, I wonder who that could be. We learn that the Duras sisters are working with the Romulans, much as their brother did and their father did. But there's somebody there in the shadows. I wonder who that could be, with a familiar voice that we heard in the Mind's Eye episode. Anywho, Worf. By the way, Worf's taking a leave of absence. That's why I went to see his brother. He's taking a leave of absence, but then he comes back to the Enterprise and he's asking for the information on the Kittimer attack and all that stuff, and Duras's involvement and blah blah blah. And Picard basically says, "You're off duty. You're not allowed to do that. It puts the Federation in an awkward position." But then he says, "Tell you what I'll do. If anybody wants the information on what happened at Kittimer, anybody can have it. So you can have it, Gowron can have it, the Duras sisters can have it, anybody. So thank you." Anyway, he gets an invitation from the Duras sisters to go and see him, and they give him some Earl Grey tea, and they try and woo him to their side, but he's not having any of it, and he says, you act like Romulans or whatever, and so he walks out and says, "Nice tea." Anyway, so because they try and get him to because he's the arbiter of succession, so it's up to him what happens with Toral's claim on the chancellorship. And he says, no, he's not going to be chancellor because he's only a kid and he's not fought any battles or done anything to bring honour to his family or anything, so he will not be chancellor today. Maybe one day, but not today. Gowron will be chancellor. So anyway, civil war erupts essentially, and the Duras sisters start attacking. Start attacking the Bortas. The Enterprise withdraws because it's not their fight. Worf, by the way, is on the Bortas with Gowron. Thingy comes to help them. Kern comes to help them, so he gets their honour back. They finish off the rite of succession. They've got their honour back. They're not discommendated anymore, whatever the word is. So everything's lovely. They go, "I return your family honour, eyes." So we think everything's cool. But then he formally asks the Federation for assistance in the Civil War, and Picard says, "Well, we can't help. It's an internal matter of the Empire." And Worf says, "Well, sod you then. I'm resigning my commission," because he says, "Worf, we're going to have to come back to duty." He says, "No, I will resign my commission." So he's packing his stuff. Obviously, he had a Klingon warrior's uniform handy. Where he got it from, I don't know. He was raised on Earth, but he must have had one made at some point. And Picard, says, "It's been an honour. It's been an honour serving with you, having you as part of my crew and all that stuff." Because he's resigned his commission. Did I say that? So he says, "I'll walk you to the transporter room," and they have this cool scene where the crew, well, some of the crew, are lining the corridors. It's only round corner, but never mind. And off he goes, beaming out, and just says goodbye. He says, "Permission to disembark." He says, "Kaplan." He goes, "Goodbye," and that's it. I think. Oh no, not yet. It's not that. The Enterprise leaves, and then we cut to Lursa and Beto's chambers. There they are with the Romulans. Not being very surreptitious, are they? Just Romulans wandering about. But anyway, never mind. But there we go. Picard has rejected Gowron's plea for help. Ha! We shall crush them. And then we hear this voice, this familiar voice, saying, don't underestimate humans. They always pop up when you least expect them. In a minute. There we are. Oh my God, it's Tasha Yar. That's what we're supposed to think, because we don't know, do we? But obviously Denise Crosby has returned as Tasha Yar. Because we don't know until season 5, do we? Because that's the end of season 4. Another cliffhanger. What's going to happen? Is she Tasha Yar? Is she somebody else? I don't know. Is she an android? Is she a clone? Who knows? We'll find out in 2 weeks' time when I do season 5. So there we go. So that's season 4 of Star Trek The Next Generation. A really, really good season, to be honest. A really, really good season. Not many clunky episodes. A couple, A couple that's not as good as the others. There's no bad episodes this season. But none that I'd call rubbish. Although I did say it, didn't I? Which one did I call rubbish earlier on? Oh, The Loss. I don't like that one, do I? Because it's Deanna, and I don't like Marina Sirtis. But never mind. Anyway, so that's the end of season 4. So we'll find out what happens season 5 in 2 weeks' time. Like I said, next week I'll be doing, I forgot what year I'm on. Top 5 films of 1987, I think. I think it's 1987 next week. So I'll be doing that next Wednesday, and then the week after we'll be doing season 5 of The Next Generation. 2D life forms. Yes, that's the best bit. That's the only good bit about it. It's cool from The Loss, yes. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it from The Loss. But she spoils it. If they'd done away with that storyline of her, it'd have been a good episode. Somebody else could have lost something, not her. But anyway, never mind. If they'd have just made it so that she wasn't as nasty, she became nasty, didn't she? Losing her powers, just snapping at everybody. Should have done it a different way, in my opinion. But anyway, never mind. Right, we'll leave it there. What's coming up next? What day on Wednesday? Friday? Oh, I haven't got a thing, because I haven't got it on. Just bear with me. Oh, we're on Netflix, aren't we? Right, just bear with me. There we go. More info. There we go. Next, on this Friday, on Friday Night Appointment with Fear, I'll just add this again, there we go. We're looking at Subservience, which is a Netflix film. It's also on YouTube to rent or buy, and also on Amazon Prime Video to rent or buy, because I forgot it were on Netflix and I bought it on Amazon Prime Video. But anyway, that's what we're doing this Friday, on Friday Night Appointment with Subservience, starring Megan Fox and other people, and he's an idiot, but... really good from Megan Fox. She can play a robot really well. It's a bit like Megan, but not as good. But for adults, and it's a good sci-fi horror, in my opinion. I like Subservience. That's what we're doing this Friday. A new film, hooray! And next Monday we'll be doing Crocodile Dundee. It was supposed to be last Monday, but we're doing it next Monday, so that's what's coming up next. Right, so we'll leave it there. What time is it? How long have we been going? Blimey, I don't know. Whew. So we'll leave it there, as I said. Hang on, so let me get rid of that. So thanks, Win Grace and Adam Green, for keeping me company while I waffle on for 3 hours and 20 minutes. Bloody hell. These Star Treks are going to kill me. Right, so thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. Hang on, where are we? Look after each other, and until next time, live long and prosper. And I'll say the